Edmonton Sports Talk. My God, I love it.
My name's J Milne. #Blue.
Our sports update deliverer. The Coon.
I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up today.
You know what, Reid?
You might be honest.
All right, here's what's going on in the Nasty Cup.
What's going on, everybody? Nobody answered. Oh, that's great. Whistle Dog in the Nasty Chat. Gentlemen sweep and play for Florida, eh, Reid? Yeah, how to set the tone, Whistle Dog. How to set the tone. Well, we're coming in with a cheap shot right off the bat. According to Dustin, according to Dustin, yes, gentlemen sweep is in play for Florida. The Oilers cannot perform a gentleman's sweep because they can't win the series in 5 games in any way, unless Florida has one of the games stricken from the record, which will not happen. All right, what's going on, Jay? How are you? You look great.
Great. Thank you. That was.
If you're on YouTube and you're wondering about Jay's shirt, we have a full story around that we're going to get to in about 17 to 23 minutes. Bodum State University.
Go Owls.
Look up everything you can about Bodum State University and send me the info to read at edmontonsportstalk.com so I can incorporate it into Jay's story. I can help him tee it up. Sound good?
Lovely.
You can also email jay at edmontonsportstalk.com. Did we get any limericks yet today? I don't know.
Yes, we do.
Bronco Nick sent in a limerick already. We'll do that a little bit later on. What day is it today? Tuesday? It's not a game day. That's all I know. It's Tuesday. The Oilers' next game is Thursday when they visit the Florida Panthers for Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final. It's another game that's going to start about 20 after 6. We will have the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 5 o'clock Thursday afternoon. Tom Gazzola will be at... Hernan, are you going? You know yet? To Hudson's on Thursday? Bro, you can meet Hernan there as well. Hudson's on Bourbon Street, West Edmonton Mall, not New Orleans. Nolans? Is that how you say it if you live there? Nolans? It's not New Orleans, I know that. Even if you don't have an accent, right? It's New Orleans. When I was a kid, I used to say New Orleans Saints. I believe that's wrong. It's New Orleans.
I wonder where Old Orleans is.
That's in France.
Is it?
Yes.
Orleans?
I think it's just called Orleans, yes. Or Orléans.
Orléans.
I think that's actually how you say it. Anyway, that'll be Hudson's Bourbon Street for Game 4 on Thursday. So a couple days without a game here for the Oilers. They did practice today. Originally, they weren't going to, so that's how we're going to talk about that as we move along. We have new audio from earlier today from Chris Knobloch, from Leon Draisaitl, and from Corey Perry. We will talk about some of the many things that happened in last night's game, in which the Oilers were grossly outplayed in pretty much every way you can be outplayed in hockey. Offense, defense, goaltending, even coaching, and even intangibles. You know how they would do, they used to do that. I don't know if they do it anymore. Didn't they used to do it on the CFL? They'd have check marks, like O-line, Montreal, D-line, BC, receivers, Montreal, running backs, Montreal, linebackers, BC, and then be like intangibles, Montreal. How can you give a check mark in intangibles if by the very definition of an intangible, it's something you can't measure? So we've measured the intangibles. Anyway, just wondering about
experience,
that. Age, wisdom, experience, gamesmanship, bounces. This team gets more bounces. All right. So that's...
Are you...
what?
You fired up today, Reid? Are you a little spicy? Everybody, you know...
Well, there are some things that have left me a little irritated. And really, it has nothing to do specifically with the Oilers losing a game. This is not, Reid has some bones in his craw. What's the term? I got a stick in my craw?
Stick in your craw.
I got bones in my stick.
No, you have a stick in the craw.
I got a stick in the craw.
What's a craw? My buttocks?
I thought it was part of your mouth or something.
I thought a craw was, like craw.
Because a crawfish is not an ass fish. It's a fish with a big mouth. All right? So, that's, as far as I know, that's what it is. But there are some things that have left me. Okay. I guess what I'm going to get into throughout the course of the show, and Jay, I know you have many things you want to talk about as well. There are actually some reactions to last night's game that I find a little irritating. Or a little, why are people getting... Okay, it's something to talk about for sure. Many things from last night's game are a story, but I also feel as if there are many things that perhaps are being blown out of proportion, or we're acting like, ooh, I didn't expect that. Oh, really? So you've never watched hockey before, is what you're saying. Anyway, we'll get into those. Happy to hear from everybody this afternoon. You can email, like I said, reid@edmontonsportstalk.com, jay@edmontonsportstalk.com. You can text us at 780-218-9999. That's the afternoon inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 Restaurant, where the entire menu is 50% off 7 days a week. That's from 2 to 5 p.m. If you are listening to us on the through an audio stream, you're probably using TuneIn Radio or iHeartRadio. Thank you for finding us there. Encourage other people to get us there as well. We still get a lot of, Reid, you're not on Ched. Did you retire? Are you working at Blockbuster again? No, I'm still a talk show host, and I'm quite happy. Here's where you can get it. Where's Dustin Nielsen? Did he move back to Cranwater or wherever he's from? No, he owns this station. Everybody's good. So let people know where to get us on iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio. Maybe you're listening in the future on a podcast, which is pretty cool. I heard these podcasts might be taken off. Keep an eye on them. I'm glad we have one. And there's also a video element, Edmonton Sports Talk on YouTube. If you haven't found us there already, punch it. We got a really cool studio. Like, we're not sitting on a couple milk crates in a barn. Okay? Like, like Bessie the cow is not coming over to see what's in my lunch bag. He's in the middle of the show. No, we're in a very professional looking studio here. At
we could make
Sports
that
Talk.
happen, though.
We should do a show from a barn. I'd get
barn.
very stuffed up.
You would die.
Yeah.
That would be part of the show, though.
Part of the show.
It'd be part of the show to see how many... What would you have to take?
I'd have to take a lot of Benadryl or Claritin or whatever it's called.
So that would be the part of the show where you...
How long until I'm so stuffed up I can't talk?
Well, then once you take the Benadryl, how long till you can't stay awake anymore?
Oh, yeah, Benadryl.
Because we'd get you drowsy.
Get all drowsy.
It'd be part of the show.
Yeah, I don't do well around horses. Like that, if I'm near a horse, I just immediately start sneezing. I don't even have to touch.
Well, they're incredibly dirty animals.
Are they?
Well, they roll in dirt all the time.
I thought horses stood all the time. Don't they sleep standing up?
They roll. That's how they itch themselves.
Oh, okay.
So they've always got things all over them.
Grass, dirt, dung.
Yeah, dung.
All right. What else was I talking about? Oh, yeah. You can get us on YouTube. You check out our very cool studio here in the Mayfield neighborhood of Edmonton. And if you are there, we have something with a chat stream down the right side of the stream. That's what we call the nasty chat. So it's not nasty. And usually you chat with occasionally we get like, how come you never read my messages on air? A, because we're under no obligation to do so. B, usually people in the nasty chat are just chatting. They're often chatting with each other, or they understand that maybe we might see it and think that's cool, but we can't read or respond to every single message. But you can get in there on the nasty chat. And if you are on YouTube, give us a like, hit the thumbs up button under the video screen. And we have a great streak in the playoffs of getting to 200 thumbs every show. We got well over 200 yesterday, thanks to a late rally. I think people are intentionally being pleasure layers now. Is that not your theory?
100%. I mean, yesterday when we pretty much said it was going to ruin your day.
Yeah.
Then
we were like at 160 with 4 minutes left in the show. 2 minutes later, we were at 220.
I don't know. Maybe it's a cool thing to do.
You know what I think is the cool thing to do?
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
All right. So give us the thumbs up. We're already up to 30. That's a nice initial start in the first 10 minutes. So keep clicking away there. All right. So the Oilers were not good last night. I mean, that'd be maybe their worst game of the playoffs, quite frankly. Certainly game 2 against the LA Kings wasn't very good. But they lost. They're down 2-1 in the best of 7.
What'd you say?
They're down 2-1 in the best of 7. Is that correct?
A best of what?
7.
Oh, so so they're down 2-1 in a 7-game series.
First team to win 4, Jay. Yeah, they may not need to play all 7 games.
Okay.
Yeah,
But it's not the first to 2.
it's not the first to 2. No.
Oh.
Were some people expressing to you that it's the first to 2?
Well, that was, you know what? That was a healthy reminder that this is not over yet.
No,
there's
it's not
more
at all.
games to be
It's not
played.
at all. There are at least 2 more, Thursday and Saturday.
Whew.
Saturday's game is right here in Edmonton. That'll be fun to have a Stanley Cup game here in Edmonton. That'll be a big game.
Huge game.
By the way, speaking of setting the scene, Gene Principe is going to join us at 5 o'clock. He's in South Florida. Probably going to be in Fort Lauderdale when he checks in. We had Gene on during the Vegas series. He just got his hair cut. He was outside in Vegas. I can't remember exactly where he was.
He looked like he was in the courtyard of the hotel.
Yeah, maybe.
You know?
I have requested that for his appearance today, he go to a nude beach. He may or may not be able to do that.
Ooh,
Yeah, so we'll see.
that would be spicy.
That would be very spicy. So Gene's on at 5. Shawn Belle, our colleague here at EST, he's on Hello Hockey every Saturday morning at 10 with Tom Gazzola, former NHL defenseman, Edmonton native. He will check in as well. He's been coming on every Tuesday at 4 during the postseason. So those are the great guests we have lined up for you today. So I look, the Oilers were not very steady last night. They weren't composed. They got out of control. I thought pretty rare for them to do that. Florida was happy to pounce all over them and rub it in and smirk and all that sort of stuff. So, just not a good effort. I think we spent a lot of yesterday's show talking about gamesmanship and physicality. Well, I think the Oilers took it too far, and they forgot to just play good, solid hockey against a very good team that can ring you up for 6 goals if you aren't playing well. There's a lot of the Oilers they embarrassed themselves, and it got so dirty late in the game. Oh, I can't believe that. First of all, I got to separate the first 40 or 45 minutes from the final 20 or 15. What cost the Oilers was their decision-making and their lack of composure in the first 40 to 45 minutes. And then the stuff that started happening in the last 15 minutes, for the most part, I consider quite normal in a blowout game. So that's one of the things I'm kind of irritated about and perhaps even confused about, that it seems to me that there are a significant number of people, or at least in a significant number of people who I think would know better, who are, oh my God, I can't believe the Oilers tried to start a fight. I can't believe Trent Frederick cross-checked Sam Bennett. I can't believe the Oilers were losing and they punched the Florida player. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, do I think that that's pretty? No. Do I think that that's like something that people who don't follow hockey a lot understand? Probably not. Do I think, however, that is normal in a blowout playoff game? Yes, I do. I mean, people are free. Oh, poor Florida. I can't believe the Florida Panthers have to take the ice with a team of goons like the Edmonton Oilers. How did the Oilers even make the final? They don't even try to score. They just fight all the time. Those poor Florida Panthers. And I'm thinking, really? Those poor Florida Panthers, who, if the score were reversed, would have been doing the exact same thing the Oilers are doing. So I'm a little miffed about this. Brad Marchand, literally one of the dirtiest players ever to play in the NHL. Yes, everybody, I know he's good. I know he's a great all-around player. I know he's scored 4 or 8 goals or whatever in this series. Of course. Brad Marchand, literally one of the dirtiest players ever to play in the National Hockey League. He has licked players in a game. He put his hands around a player's neck to mock or perhaps really choke him earlier this season. He's a complete wild card. He's a maniac. Yes, he's a good player. Yes, his teammates love him. Yes, I admit them shooting rats at his feet and him acting like he has broken feet is actually mildly amusing. I'll give him that. There are people in the hockey world feeling sorry for Brad Marchand because he had to play a game against the Edmonton Oilers. Like, is this what has happened in this instant reaction world? That we have Twitter and we have things to instantly express our outrage without considering history and context? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you something. If I were to list every playoff game that I've seen decided by 3, 4, 5 or more goals, in which a team has, quote unquote, tried to goon it up in the final 10 to 15 minutes, this entire 3-hour show would just be me reading a list of those games. But all of a sudden, it's like, oh my God, what were the Oilers doing? Oh my God, they're poor little Sam Bennett. He just got over polio and now Trent Frederick is cross-checking him. What is going on? He was Tiny Tim in the school play. For the love of God, what are you doing? Do you know how long it took Gadjevic to grow that beard? And now Darnell Nurse has got blood all over it. This poor Florida team. Do you know how hard it is just for them to make the ice for their arena? And now the Oilers are coming in there and putting blood all over it. I can't watch it anymore. I can't watch it anymore. Like it's absurd. It's absurd that people cover sports and watch hockey and who watch hockey are reacting this way. Hey, do I think everything what the Oilers did last night was cool? No, I don't. You know? Like hey, to me there was a point where it's like, okay, and we're going to talk about Walman a little bit later on. Spraying water at the Panthers bench, that's a dumb move. Like, what are you proving? All you're proving to Florida is that, like, yeah, you're in my head, and I'm so rattled. Even on the bench, I got to spray. Like, it wasn't great. But for there to be this outrage and surprise that there was a cross check or a punch or a fight in a 5-6-1 game in the Stanley Cup Final. I mean, come on. I can remember New Jersey and Colorado in like 2000 or 2001, whenever they played. Game 6 was like a 4 or 5-0 game, and there were a bunch of fights late in the game. Like, welcome to hockey. Is it necessarily a pretty side of the game? No, it isn't. I get it that some of you like fighting. I get that some people don't, and probably new hockey fans don't understand why it's all like not garbage time in late in basketball games when all the subs play and take meaningless shots. Well, hockey's not like that. It was actually quite normal what happened last night. What wasn't normal was how the Oilers played in the first 2 periods. That was really the problem. So that's all I'm saying. But I mean, really, I don't care about it that much. I don't have that strong an opinion on it. What's going on? I got to admit, the guy that threw the rat with the ketchup bottle so it looked like it was bleeding, I like that creativity.
That one shook the family to its core.
Your family?
My family.
Yeah.
They thought it was a real dead rat, and why rats? Then I had to explain it all. And then then polio, that's the big thing to overcome.
It really is. It really is. All right, 780-218-9999 is how you text the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. Here's what's going to happen right now, Jay, because I know Jay's going to take center stage in the next section. I'm going to give the off-topic topic. And then Jay Milne has a personal story about it and about his T-shirt. Nobody has sent us any facts about Botham State University.
Botham State.
Boatem State University. So here is the off-topic topic. It is presented by William Huff. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service, combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be, is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout, 780-454-4536. We would like you... Do you have a story about a time that you needed to be rescued? Did you ever need to be rescued? That is the off-topic topic. Now, obviously, because Jason Milne has a story, the answer for him is yes. He has told me snippets of this story. It's amazing and actually horrifying.
Yeah.
Because if he hadn't been rescued, he might not be the host of this show right now. So we'll get into that. We're going to talk about how Jake Walman was punished. We'll get to some audio from this afternoon and a couple clips from last night we want to jump into as well. Here is Zachary Kubish.
After a 6-1 slugfest down in Florida last night, Edmonton's Jake Walman walked away with $10,000 in fines. Half of that fine was given to Walman for roughing Florida's Matthew Tkachuk, the other $5,000 for unsportsmanlike conduct in front of the Panthers bench. And J.K. Dobbins is off to Denver, signing with the Broncos on a one-year deal worth over $5 million. Dobbins recorded 9 touchdowns in 13 games for the Chargers last season, being good for over 900 rushing yards. Out east, the Jays and Cardinals rematch Toronto, picking up a 5-4 win in their series opener yesterday. Chris Bassett gets the ball for the Jays today. Miles Michaelis for the Cards. First pitch goes at 5:45. Well, from Kelowna, the Riverhawks and Falcons scrap in their series opener. Edmonton 4-2 on this season. Falcons 2-7 in the early going. Catch the action on any of EST's audio streams, with our stream joining the game midway through the contest, starting at 7:35. On the court, the Stingers and Blackjacks throw down from the Hive. Edmonton 2-5 on the season. Tip-off at 7 o'clock. This sports update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring, proudly serving Edmonton and area for over 30 years. Their West End showroom is open 7 days a week. You can also shop online at paramountflooring.ca. More Game 3 discussion follows up on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
2 guys and a goalie.
When was the first moment, aside from the game taking the penalties, where you both realized that the Florida Panthers were just completely tipped Edmonton over the edge, mentally?
Mentally. Oh. Good question, Cass. I mean, had that happened in the first 40 minutes?
I would say it was, to me, just from what I watched, it was the Klingberg.
2 guys and a goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Fridays just got a whole lot more fun. Spin the wheel at the banquet for your shot to win big and save on your bill. Spin, win, save. It's that easy. Details at thebanquetbar.com. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at gcldiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Time out, Edmonton. The new Play Alberta app has arrived, and it's here to make your gambling experiences more fun, exciting, and secure. Enjoy the convenience of hundreds of casino games, betting live on your favorite sports teams, and access to lotteries all in one place, anywhere in Alberta. Enter code YEG50 to receive a $50 free bet when you make a $5 minimum deposit. That's a $50 free bet for new and existing users using code YEG50. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Keep your team jersey and rally towel close by and help bring the championship home. For all your other treasures, store them with Sentinel Storage. Store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca. Proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
Must you click? Click. Thumb. Must you click?
There is the Thumb Click remix as put together by our technical producer, Zachary Kubish, reminding you to click that thumbs up if you're taking in the YouTube stream. Share the show link with other people as well. Say, hey, check these guys out. Give them a thumbs up. We're just shy of 60. Pretty good for less than half an hour into the show. But remember, we want to get to at least 200 by the end of the program. So don't delay getting there and click right away. Oilers had a practice earlier today. Weren't initially scheduled to do so. Chris Knobloch will explain why they were on the ice when we dive into the Oil Understood for GCL Diesel a little bit later on. All right, Jason Milne is here, of course. And he has his answer to the off-topic topic presented by William Huff. Tell us about a time you needed to be rescued. And hopefully this will set the tone for others of you who want to submit your stories.
A group of my my lifelong buddies. We one of them's now my brother-in-law. Started out as classmates, then he ended up marrying my sister. We would always go on a boys' trip in the summer, and one of the guys came up with the brilliant idea to make it a canoe trip. And we were planning said canoe trip at and my one buddy Sickler is like an encyclopedia. So he said we were planning it at the brew house. He says I can remember the booth. And one of the guys was talking about how his wife and his ex-girlfriend both had the same dress or something like that. And he referred to them as Bodum. Instead of saying both of them, he said Bodum.
Okay.
And that's where Bodum came. So all of our trips after that were Bodum. Annual trips. So Bodum State is actually a fake school.
For Bodum.
Bodum State University,
okay.
Home of the Owls. Go Owls.
Who came up with the Owls as the logo?
Sickler. Everything was done by him. We have mugs, T-shirts, tank tops.
So sorry,
it's the nerdiest thing.
Sickler's not the one that married your sister.
No, Tuckwood is.
I thought maybe he was sitting in a tree like an owl looking at your sister.
No, the other friend. Anyways, get to the canoe trip. So we drove out to Nordegg-ish.
That's a popular area for people wanting some sort of
for idiots
nature wildlife escape. Yeah. I just feel like a lot of people go camping, hiking. It's always near Nordegg.
Great place for.
Is it the hiking capital of the world?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, backcountry stuff.
Okay.
So we stayed. We hunkered down for the night, and then we were canoeing all the way to Rocky Mountain House. Okay. We had it set up, and we went. I forget, Gila Adventures. That's what it was called. They gave us the canoes, the paddles, the life jackets, everything like that, and then they would drove our car to the finish spot.
Oh, I see.
So it was set up like that.
Right.
So one of the guys, Robbie, he's done this before. He's the outdoorsman of the group.
Okay.
So yeah, it's nothing. It's a float, So, okay. So 2 guys in each canoe, and you've got your necessities. You've got your beer, you've got your sleeping bags,
more beer,
and then food, right?
Yeah.
It was pretty chill. And I must say, the trip got off to a very good start. It was very relaxing. Everything was going well. Now, this was in 2014. Okay. This was shortly after the floods had happened in Calgary.
Okay.
Which ultimately changed a lot of things about the rivers that, this would have been North Saskatchewan.
And this is the North Saskatchewan, right? Because then it comes up and comes through Edmonton, right? Yeah, okay.
So from the time that Robbie had done this before to now, it was a completely different animal. This was no longer an area, like, for inexperienced people, like canoeists.
Right.
Probably shouldn't have done it. Anyways, Tuckwood and I are in one canoe, and we see way in the distance a tree was uprooted in the middle of the river. And so, okay, we're steering, and it's like this thing was sucking us in. So in we plow into this tree, uprooted. Our canoe turns sideways.
Okay.
And then flips. But it flips with the inside of the canoe upriver. So the river was flowing into our pinning us into the canoe essentially. And all our gear was being pinned into the canoe as well.
Okay.
So I'm hanging on, and keep in mind, there's a tree in the river right there. I'm hanging on to the gunnel of the canoe. And I'm thinking in my mind, if I let go, I'm going to go under. And who knows what could happen.
Right.
Because there's a tree there. There's roots. So I inch my way over to the end of the canoe. And then I couldn't hang on anymore. And under I go.
Yeah.
Came up well downriver. Like it tossed and turned you. So
Wow.
my brother-in-law too, who wasn't my brother-in-law at the time. But, or maybe, yeah, maybe he was. I forget. Anyways, our canoe did not come. It didn't release. It stayed pinned against this tree.
Okay.
So now we're down one canoe and we got 4 guys. And none of our gear for me and my brother-in-law,
Right.
Aaron. So, okay, this is a problem. So we meet up with the other guys. We take all their stuff out of the canoe because we couldn't all fit in there and leave it on the shore. So we have nothing. We have a sleeping bed, a tent.
Okay.
And we go down to like the campsite where we were supposed to stay night 2.
Okay.
And luckily enough, there was a group behind us, a YMCA group of like 10-year-olds
Oh, wow.
navigating this river. They had a satellite phone. So we called Gila Adventures, the place that gave us the gear, and they're like, "Kate, we'll come take care of you, rescue you."
Right.
And they said they'd come the next morning. So we sleep on the ground that night. It was terrible. Apparently, I was snoring quite loud. I slept quite well.
At least you slept.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're waiting in the morning. We're up, quite early, and we're, looking up river. We're trying to see, hey, where's the cavalry coming?
Right.
And we see these shiny objects floating towards us, and they get closer. Here, it's all the Budweiser that we brought. So we're like, they got the canoe. They did it. Because that beer wouldn't have come out unless they dislodged the canoe.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
So next thing you know, here they come in their 2 rafts, pick us dopes up, and boy, oh boy, from there to the finish spot, it was treacherous. Like we would have been dumped no matter what. It would have been bad either way. Now you're expecting to maybe get dumped,
sure,
but not like that, and where you have nothing with you anymore. So yeah, it was terrible.
Were you wearing a life jacket?
Oh, of course.
Okay, but still, when you're pulled under into the river,
that was terrifying.
Who knows where it's taking you, right?
Yeah, that was terrifying. That was quite
awful.
scary. So I was shook, man. I was like freaking out. This was not cool. We had just had our 3rd daughter, so then there's that on the mind. We get back to Rocky Mountain House, and the first thing we do is go to. I think we went right to BP's. Had a few beers, and then we just made our way home.
Yeah,
it was terrible. So we had to be rescued.
Sounds terrible. Yeah,
yeah. So that was a serious rescue.
Yeah,
I was concerned at a few points, and it was until that satellite. If that satellite phone wasn't there, I don't know what we would have done.
Well, somebody would have come along at some point, wouldn't there?
Well, we thought, because we did pass some people.
Okay.
But they were in a riverboat, like with a motor.
Oh.
So they don't have to necessarily go downstream.
Oh,
so
I
we
see.
thought maybe they would, but no, thank God that YMCA group came by. 10-year-olds saved our lives.
Yeah. That's terrifying. So
I will never set foot in a canoe for the rest of my life.
That's it, eh?
You can book it. Yes. And I had around my neck one of those necklaces where you can put your phone in it and zip it up so it's waterproof. That was around my neck too. So that, thinking back is like, oh, you probably should have taken that out. But when the water, a current is pushing against you in a canoe.
Well, yeah, you don't know what's going to happen.
It was just, I think it was good of me to get to the outside.
Right.
But yeah.
So this all happened because I said to Jay, "What is with Bodum State University on your shirt?"
Yeah.
So that led to this story.
Oh yeah, and we had shirts made for that too, and 2 of them got washed down the river.
Oh, I bet.
So we had to have them remade.
But did you get all your beer back, or did you watch it float by?
Sickler, my buddy, still has a can of it.
Oh, wow.
It's beaten up. It's thrashed. It's crazy what this can looks like. He still has it in his basement.
Barbershop Window says BP's Rocky Mountain House is the go-to spot after camping. So there you go.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
It sure helped remedy some of my issues.
That is a scary story. I mean, who knows what could have happened. So we need your story about a time you needed to be rescued. That is the off-topic topic for William Huff. Joel, in all caps, so what happened to Walman? Walman has been fined twice. Once for roughing and once for unsportsmanlike conduct. And we're going to talk about that.
Oh, Sickler's in the nasty
in the
chat.
next segment. Yeah, I saw that.
He says Robbie, who is the bass player of Brody North Shore. So you hear him on the EST airwaves all the time.
So it was Sickler, your brother-in-law, Robbie, and you.
Correct.
Those 4 guys.
Yeah.
Has any of the other 3 guys gone back in a canoe?
Oh, probably Robbie.
Yeah.
But he's like that. He's an outdoorsy guy. The other 3 of us wouldn't even look at one.
Yeah, that sounds terrifying.
So the trips after, we resorted to golfing. And going to Sickler's cabin.
Much less dangerous. Yeah.
Now it's Sickler's cabin. That's about good enough for us.
Yeah, Sickler's cabin. Sounds like a horror movie.
No, it's quite majestic, actually. The daiquiris.
It started at a boys' weekend in the majestic location. But then there was a knock at the door. Do you have what it takes to stay one night? At Sickler's cabin. And that's like a demon pops up or something.
Yeah.
Well, Evil Dead, they went out to a cabin, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, a lot of horror movies happen at cabins.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Cabin in the Woods.
Sure. Wasn't Friday the 13th at a cabin?
I think I've never seen the original Friday the 13th.
I'm pretty sure it was.
I think it was at a camp,
or maybe a camp.
But there were probably cabins at the camp.
Big Uke says cabin daiquiris are the best. Yes, they are. Yes. Big
so
Uke,
if you have a story about needing to be rescued, sort of how Jay just told, you can text that 780-218-9999 River Crew Resort and Casino hotline. You can email read@edmontonsportstalk.com, jay@edmontonsportstalk.com. Thanks for sharing that story. That's quite a tale.
It was horrific. You're welcome. Waddy in Cloverdale says, I believe it was Queen that said, "Fat Bodum girls, you make the rock and world go round."
Oh, jeez.
Well done.
That's pretty good. All right. Give us a thumbs up if you are taking in the YouTube stream, or if you're on iHeartRadio or TuneIn Radio and it's convenient, just hop into YouTube for a second and give us a thumbs up. You got to appreciate Jay sharing that story, because you could have said, it's not a pleasant memory and or kind of embarrassing. I don't want to tell it on air, but you dove in and told it.
It was a beautiful story at the end of it, because we were rescued and so was our beer. You know?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It was fantastic.
Yeah. And now you've removed future chances for trauma.
Nobody in my family is allowed to go in a canoe.
No boating. Yeah.
No canoes. Do you know if you hold both sides of a canoe, you complete the circle, and it's very you'll tip like that?
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
You're not supposed to hold the sides of a canoe.
Oh, I see. I'm not very water boat savvy.
No, just motorboat.
I'm fine with just. Jeez, my God. Where's the show going?
We're in a mood.
By the way, we are in the Banquet Studio. Celebrate your birthday at the Banquet Bar. Amazing drinks, great vibes, and unforgettable memories. Book your party today at thebanquetbar.com. All right, so we will have Jay's Play of the Day. Shawn Belle is at the top of the hour. Gene Principe is going to be at 5 o'clock. We want to go over a couple of clips from last night.
Oh, yeah.
From after the game, and then we'll get to some new audio from today from Perry, Knobloch, and Draisaitl. Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Here comes the Coop.
Following the scrum at the end of last night's Game 3 between the Panthers and the Oilers, Edmonton's Jake Walman has been fined $10,000 for roughing Matthew Tkachuk of the Panthers, while also being guilty of unsportsmanlike conduct from an incident in front of the Florida bench. And after posting over 900 rushing yards with 9 touchdowns in 13 games with the Chargers last season. 26-year-old J.K. Dobbins has signed a 1-year contract with the Broncos worth over just $5 million. MLB action has Toronto and St. Louis playing once again. Jays picking up a 5-4 win yesterday in their series opener. First pitch for that one is at 5:45. Chris Bassett gets the ball for Toronto. Miles Michaelis, the man for St. Louis. And the Riverhawks are on the road in Kelowna to face the Falcons. Edmonton sitting 4th in the North Division, 4-2 on the season. Kelowna 2-7 in the early going. Listen to the entire game on any of EST's audio streams, coverage starting just after 7:30. Basketball action has Edmonton hosting Ottawa in the Hive. They hit the court at 7. This sports update is brought to you by Advantage Sports Medicine. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists, and you're stuck with a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game. Call them at 780-460-9977 or visit their website at advantagesportmed.ca to book an appointment today. More with Reid and Jay once we get back on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Do you have pets? Horses? Chickens? Did the place you used to get your feed recently close down? Have no fear. Clover Bar Feeds is here. Whether it's dogs, cats, horses, or chickens, Clover Bar Feeds has you covered. Offering a large variety of food and feed, you can trust the experts at Clover Bar Feeds. They've been family owned and operated for over 60 years. This means you can expect nothing less than top-notch service and selection. Come visit them at 200 Portage Close in Sherwood Park or visit them online at cloverbarfeeds.com.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know. All right, thanks, Coop. Thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. 3:43 in the afternoon. Oilers practiced earlier. Next game will be Thursday night, Game 4. Visiting the Florida Panthers. Panthers now up 2-1 in the best-of-7 Stanley Cup Final. Really appreciate you joining us this afternoon. Before, what's coming in? Something's making you laugh. That's always makes me happy when you laugh.
The guy... Uncle Jesse says the guy who knocked on Sickler's door was the bookbinder. What a twist.
Yeah, can I help you? I'm just off in the next cabin, and I've run out of twine.
You run out of twine?
Oh, yes, pardon me. I should have introduced myself. I'm the bookbinder of Alberta, the last one, by the way. Just enjoying a weekend here by Nordegg in my cabin, but I never can get away, so I brought some books to bind. And I've appeared to have run out of twine. I was wondering if you have any.
Yeah, I don't think we have any. Oh, we got some. Shh, guys. Shh. No, we don't have any twine. See ya.
Oh, wait.
Bookbinder puts a book in the door.
Oh, wait. Well, then perhaps you could join me for some barbecued smokies a little bit later on.
Ryder loves his smokies. All right. There's a scene there. We gotta keep working on that. Oh my goodness.
My chest hurts.
It's Jay, it's play, he's Jay, it's today. It's Jay's play of the day. It's Jay's play of the day. Jay's play of the day.
Is presented by Play Alberta. Why settle for less when you can have it all? Only Play Alberta brings you casino games, live dealers, lottery, instants, and sports betting all in one place. Players can get a $50 casino bonus by depositing $20 and using the code EST Casino. You can get a $50 free sports bet by depositing $20 and using the code EST Sports. Don't forget to use your game sense, Mr. Milne.
Well, Jay's play of the day has hit a little bit of a dry spell, so I'm going to try and make it up. And then some, all in one. And I mentioned this, I was filling in for Huss yesterday in the lock shop, and I said I was going to do it when the lines came out, so here we are. We're going CFL. People over at Play Alberta helped boost this number quite well as well. And I honestly, looking at from week one, this is a definite sprinkle, if not a bet. BC Lions -2.5. Rough Riders -3.5. Montreal to win outright, and the Stampeders to win.
Okay, so BC's in Winnipeg, Calgary's in Toronto, Montreal's in Ottawa.
Who do the Rough Riders have?
Rough Riders are at
Hamilton, that's right. Plus 15-10. Plus 15-10.
Okay.
So this would be a nice one to hit. It all starts Thursday night. So if you want to ride with Jay on this is actually my first in-season CFL bet. Kind of excited about it. I might double down on it again come Thursday. Head over to playalberta.ca, click on EST specials, and you'll see 5 plays of the day. Dusty's play of the day, and this is an interesting one. Oilers to win the series. Okay, was boosted to 280.
Oh, wow. Okay.
At 2-1 for Florida, you could still get almost 3-1 your money in a series that, aside from last night's debacle, has been pretty tight.
Right. Okay, so playalberta.ca, click on sports, click on EST specials, and there we go. You can click on all that kind of stuff. Good going, buddy. So, but this one we won't know what happened until Sunday.
That's right.
So we got to remember to follow up.
Bit of a long haul.
That's quite a bet. That is quite a wager. Okay. The off-topic topic, tell us about a time you needed to be rescued. Erico in the nasty chat. We were in a boat and it lit on fire on Okanagan Lake. Another boater came and rescued us. Not a big fan of boats after that. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that's just obviously, I'm sure, a very short version of that story. That sounds terrifying, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Brent P says, I used to work for Gila. That's the people that we got the boat
And is
from.
this spelled Gila like Gila Monster? G-I-L-A?
No, H-E-L-A.
Okay.
And he taught whitewater canoeing, but before 2014. Glad you're alive. That's a dangerous situation you were in.
Yeah.
He says he's rescued lots of floaters, beer, and their gear on the North Saskatchewan. Wow.
There's been a lot of
Can
beer.
you imagine if it was Brent P. that was part of the crew that saved and rescued us and remembered that? Because they had to set up, like Brent P. would know, they had to set up pulleys and ropes and everything because that boat was pinned.
Oh, to get the canoe back.
The canoe was folded backwards due to the water pressure.
And this tree, was it like a knocked over tree that got lodged somehow?
Yeah, in the center of the river.
Right.
And it was just sitting, you know how trees, when they're uprooted and they're over, it's massive, right?
Yeah.
So it was probably, 20 feet of roots.
Oh, geez.
And half of it was sticking out. So half of that was underwater.
Right. Oh, man.
Wow, Brent, you should have just said you were part of the crew that rescued me, and I would have got you some Popeyes
or some of that beer.
Yeah,
that floated down the river.
We did get them
Popeyes.
a gift. We did get them a gift. The people that rescued us.
Very, very kind of you. All right, Shawn Belle coming up at the top of the hour. A couple of things to hit on before 4 o'clock. Oilers defenseman Jake Walman has been fined twice, a total of $10,000. So first of all, he was fined $5,000 for unsportsmanlike conduct for an incident. This is what the NHL Okay. The whole theme of this segment is, okay, I'll say this first of all. I doubt anybody from the NHL is watching or cares. But if they were watching, I would say politely, NHL representative, this is why fans make fun of your league when it comes to some of this discipline stuff. So Walman has been fined $5,000 for unsportsmanlike conduct for an incident involving Florida's bench at 16:49 of the second period. Just come out and say what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, there's video of it. He's spraying water on the bench at players on the other bench. I think he got a lot on Boucher, the commentator there.
Yeah. And their gear
but
and their
like,
TVs.
it's an incident. Well, honestly, it's probably more embarrassing to Jake Walman if it comes out and says that, and all the people who weren't sure actually read and is like, seriously? He sprayed? Like, that's... And I agree with that. That was kind of a juvenile thing.
It was childish. I don't know what the point of that was.
Edmonton Oilers defenseman Jake Walman has been fined $5,000 for roughing Florida Panthers forward Matthew Tkachuk during Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final. The incident occurred at 14:44 of the third period. So when Jay and I were talking this morning, and I said, when we saw Walman got fined, I said, for which thing? Because Walman was looking for it.
Yes.
Most of the night. So Jay and I watched the video, and he punches Matthew Tkachuk a couple of times, and a big scrum breaks out, and a lot of guys are doing a lot of things. And at first I thought to myself, why was that singled out? And then Jay and I figured out, I think it was Klingberg? Somebody was holding
tied him up.
Tkachuk.
Yeah.
Somebody was holding Tkachuk, and Walman took a couple shots at him when Tkachuk really couldn't get his arms up or defend himself. Now, Tkachuk usually doesn't do that anyway. And I don't know what's his clip from after the game. We decided to take a punch, do whatever.
Yeah, sometimes you got to take a punch
don't
and
react.
Yeah.
But we think the reason that was frowned upon as opposed to, so Trent Frederick breaks his stick across Bennett's back and doesn't do anything. And he doesn't get anything. Like, what's worse if you just watch those? But I think because Tkachuk was being held, the NHL doesn't want to set a precedent where it's like, oh, it's okay for Jay and I to go out there. Okay, you grab him and I'll pop him in the face a few times. So we think that's why he got a fine there. But this is, we've talked a lot about the suspensions and how the NHL doesn't always explain everything very well. So it's an unsportsmanlike, unnecessary, childish move to spray water at the bench. It is a potentially dangerous or harmful move to punch a guy in the face while he's being held by one of your teammates. They're both $5,000. I mean, this is why people laugh at the National Hockey League. I think that these two incidents are costing this player the same amount of money.
And that was all they singled out to add to that.
Yes.
I mean, you look at what AJ Greer did to Matthias Ekholm at the end of the game, assaulting him. I mean, whatever. Ekholm's fine, but if you're going to give that a fine for maybe punching when it was unnecessary,
well, yeah.
Well, look at what else happened in that game. I mean, you could have probably handed out $100,000 in fines if you really wanted to.
Oh, for sure,
right? But I mean, that's just it. It's like, okay, once again, that word consistency, it just doesn't equate with this league.
No.
And it does
and there's a CBA, so the players are part of this process. So there's at some point, some of the players said, okay, $5,000. We'll live with $5,000. That's the fine. And it does say in this news release, in both cases, it says the maximum allowable under the agreement. So it's kind of just become, well, if you get fined, it's $5,000. So yeah, it is agreed upon. I see Buster pointing that out in the that's fair. But whether it's agreed upon or not, I still think it's silly, right? These two incidents, which visually are not comparable, are actually identical when it comes to punishment. It's kind of silly. And if you want to comb through the game, you're right. You could probably find other things that maybe could be fined or other quote unquote defenseless players who were getting punched. But anyway, that's what happened with Jake Walman. I got to get a clip here. This is because I want to get Jay's reaction to it as well. Knobloch commenting after the game about the Oilers, possibly losing their composure.
Oh, definitely. Third period's an unraveling. I think the game was out of hand. I don't think we would have acted or played like that had the game been a 1-goal or 2-goal game. I think our guys were just trying to, I don't know, boys being boys. I guess just trying to make investments for the next game.
So what do you think of the boys being boys thing? I found that was, like, he's so calm all the time. I found that was an interesting way for Knobloch to put it, though.
It is. I'm not sure if I like it. I like it. I love it. I'm not sure if I like that from my head coach. You know, after a heated game 3, I do appreciate how he worded it. Investments for the next game. And I'll say it. I love the way that the Oilers handled that, final 10 minutes. I do. I mean, if you're in the heat of a battle and you're getting your ass kicked, I'm sorry, but somebody's got to get their ass kicked too. That's how sports is. That's how competitors are. Cheap, sure, call it whatever you want, but you're just trying to do something to gain a little bit of edge heading into the next game. I mean, what are you going to do? Come back and win that game? No. Right? It could be 6-1. It could be 2-1 in triple overtime. It doesn't matter. It's still a W or an L in the Oilers case. I don't know. Like, what do you think about a Donnie Brooks like that happening at the end of a game like that?
Yeah, look, I expected it, and of course, the fan base of the winning team is going to think, what a bunch of goons.
Goons, sure.
The fan base of the losing team is going to be like, well, yeah, they deserve to get the. I'm sure a lot of Oilers fans, if Sam Bennett all of a sudden appeared next to them at work or in their vehicles, they would just punch him in the mouth immediately. Certainly my mother would. But again, this is why, Jay, sometimes I don't get too caught up in this stuff, because it's normal.
Yes.
I've seen it, and that was the point of the opening segment of life. Yes, is it ugly? Yes, is it potentially dangerous? I don't want to see anybody get hurt. I mean, who knows? Trent Frederick hits Bennett in the wrong spot of the back, and maybe Bennett's out for the series or whatever. But I've also seen this in hockey. I mean, unfortunately, this is a tactic. It is somewhat part of the game that things are going to boil over, and that the team that is losing is going to take out their frustrations on the other team.
Exactly.
Is it going to help the Oilers in Game 4? It might not. It might have. Some of this stuff might have absolutely no impact on the game, but it's part of the competition of it. And again, everybody, if the score was reversed, Florida would have been doing exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing.
Yep.
Marchand would have been involved. Kachuk probably would have got a misconduct. Bennett would have been cross-checking somebody. Ekblad would have been, going full Hulk mode. By the way, excellent nickname for him in the Nasty Chat from the Big Uke. Stuff would have happened. I know this because I've seen Florida do it. I've seen Brad Marchand do it as a Boston Bruin. So, look, you have to be careful. I mean, you don't want to get suspended. I mean, you wouldn't want an Oiler player getting kicked out of the series or missing a couple of games. So you still got to think a little bit. Knobloch, I guess the thing that struck me there is,
do you think Knobloch was a little too concerned for your liking with the way the reffing was in that game and the end of the game?
No.
Instead of just moving on?
No, not really.
But rather acknowledging it?
Yeah, well, I mean, he made the comment about too many men. Too bad it wasn't called in Game 2.
Right.
I didn't have a problem with that. And I guess, what has Knobloch said is that he wants players to go out there and be themselves and play on instinct. So I guess he's also accepting of the fact that it's instinct late in the type of that game that you're going to want to mix some stuff up and take out some frustrations. I was a little surprised that he actually said, well, boys will be boys.
Yeah.
But I guess, look, they have to come out and play hockey. I don't think he wants his team to be in that situation again. But he's also accepting, all right, the crap's going to hit the fan. They got players that want to mix it up. They have players that our guys are irritated with. They took their opportunity to try to do something about it. It's not going to rattle Florida. But again, I just push back on this whole notion that, again, Florida is some innocent, angelic, classy team in all this that were victimized by the big, brutal Oilers. And I know the photo at the end of the game of Perry trying to fight Mikkola, and Mikkola's smiling and laughing at him. And look at classy Mikkola, and thug Corey Perry. Come on, the score's reversed. The picture is reversed. It's that simple. And I'm not condoning it or condemning it. I'm just saying, like, at some point you have to just accept reality.
Yeah, it's hockey. Get over it, move on to the next game, and play hockey. Don't get drug into the mud, because you're not going to win that battle against this team, right?
Well, and this is what the Oilers. Then this is what the Oilers need to do next game. Play rugged, play physical, but play thorough. Like, they were running around looking for it. I think they came out of game 2 distracted by Bennett and some of the other stuff. You got to win. You got to. And we've seen that the Oilers can play physical and can play mean, but still play a responsible hockey game. And they did not do that last night. They didn't check. They didn't take care of the puck. They didn't initiate anything.
But you know what, Reid? Aside from, like, that first period was just a very weird period. And the penalties that were taken on both teams were penalties. Evander Kane needs to keep his stick in check.
Yeah.
That cross check in front of the net. Don't make that play so obvious. Use your head a little bit. And that put them behind the 8 ball. Put Florida behind the 8 ball too. But then you come out in the second period and you go ahead and make it a 1-goal game. I mean, that game was in reach. Right? It wasn't out of reach. And I think the turning point in that game was when Klingberg, who could have just tapped it back behind the net.
Yeah, he didn't handle the pressure.
He didn't make a good decision there. Did Barkov slash him first? Yeah. Did Barkov hold him? Yeah. But this is playoffs. You're going to have to play through that. Turns the puck over. Verhaeghe, that was that Reinhart?
I think that was the Reinhart goal, yeah.
Great shot. Would you like a save there? Sure. But then Podkolzin comes right back and makes a horrible turnover. And now you're down 4-1 in a matter of minutes.
All right. Give us the thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. Let's get a quick rally to get past 100 by the time we get back. Shawn Belle is standing by. Gene Principe is going to join us in an hour. It's the Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne.
The Lock Shop.
I'll be honest, I love the way the Oilers handled the third period.
You like the third period, eh?
I loved it. The Florida Panthers, if the roles were reversed, would have been doing the exact same thing. 100%. I think we heard from McDavid afterwards. They're like, listen, we're not backing down from these guys. Listen, I thought the Oilers showed that they are not going to get pushed around by these guys. They're willing to fight them in every area of the hockey game.
The Lock Shop, weekday mornings at 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
If you aren't wearing a Connect belt, what are you waiting for? A one-size-fits-all belt with a smooth, hole-free track system makes it adjustable for the perfect fit. With fully customizable options, you can choose your belt color, material, and buckle to suit your style. 100% Canadian-owned and operated, Connect belts are designed for work, everyday wear, and even a round of golf. Check out the large selection of men's and women's styles at www.knktbelts.com. Connect belts, the perfect fit every time.
River Cree Resort and Casino proudly presents Ian Munsick. July 5th, live in the venue. Country fans, you don't want to miss an evening with Ian Munsick, a stampeding, spirited celebration of romance, ranch life, family, and forever young fun. Tickets on sale now at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
Following the big scuffle in Florida between the Oilers and Panthers last night during Edmonton's Game 3 loss, the NHL has fined Edmonton's Jake Walman $10,000 for two separate actions during the game. One fine for his roughing against Florida's Matthew Tkachuk and the other for unsportsmanlike conduct in front of the Florida bench. NFL news sees 26-year-old J.K. Dobbins headed to Denver on a one-year deal worth over $5 million. The former Charger had over 900 rushing yards with 9 touchdowns in 13 games for LA last season. Tons of baseball action on tap. Jays and Cards face off in St. Louis. Toronto winning 5-4 yesterday. The Jays give Chris Bassett the ball while Miles Michaelis takes the mound for St. Louis. And in Kelowna, it's the Riverhawks and Falcons scrapping. Edmonton 4-2 in the standings, while Kelowna is 2-7. And EST's got you covered with coverage of the game on any of our audio streams. With us joining into the game at 7:35. From the Hive, the Stingers play the Blackjacks. Tip-off at 7. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The second hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
Hey, hope you're having a great afternoon along with Jason Milne. I'm Reid Wilkins on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports, presented by Play Alberta. We are with you until 6 o'clock tonight, 3 to 6 every day. Our station streaming live 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., plus pre- and post-game shows for every Oilers and Elks game throughout the season. Elks are on a bye, 0-1. Their home opener next Thursday against the Montreal Alouettes. Chat going on YouTube and the Nasty Chat. Keep giving us a thumbs up there. We're almost at 100, so let's get over 100 right away. Safety Bob. I wonder if there's a dangerous Bob as well. Safety Bob says, I like that the Oilers showed some emotion when they were getting whipped. Shows me that they want it, and I think Connor and Leon are pissy now, so watch out. Oilers are coming back home tied at 2. We'll have some context for how unusual Leon Draisaitl's game was when we do crunching the numbers later for Gallo LLP. All right. In an hour, a little less, we got Gene Principe checking in. Right now, he's been joining us every Tuesday at 4 throughout the postseason. Shawn Belle, our colleague here at EST, you get him on Hello Hockey, and of course, he played in the National Hockey League and a variety of other professional leagues as well. How you doing, Belsy?
Gentlemen, how are you guys doing?
We're doing very well. It's nice to see you.
It's great seeing you too.
Do you want to ask him your question first?
Well, yeah, Belsy, I was just saying to Reid in the break, because obviously the way that game went, the end of the game, the punching, everything that happened there. Were you a scrapper when you played, Belsy?
I wasn't a scrapper, but I probably averaged about 4 or 5 a year. Mm-hmm. But there's a game within the game that you got to play. And it's funny because as soon as they scored that 6th goal, I got a message from a buddy and he was like, let the dogs loose. And I laughed because in one hand, I was like, you know what? You're 100% right. It's probably time to get your pound of flesh because the game's over. But what I didn't care for was, okay, well, Florida's reaction was like, we're just going to disengage from this stuff. We're going to laugh at you. We're going to try to get away from it. And I think if you're the Oilers, you just have to adjust what you're trying to do. So, okay, if Bennett doesn't want to fight Frederick, then you just start running Reinhart every single shift that he's on the ice, and you run every single player, skilled player that they possibly have until somebody comes looking for you. And that would be the only adjustment I would have made, because I just didn't like I think it was like the 3-minute or 4-minute mark, how McDavid and Draisaitl are back out on the ice 4-on-4. Well, that's like a recipe for disaster, because if the Panthers want to go back at them, who do you want to go after if you're the Oilers? And that's the only thing I didn't like. But outside of that, I love the no back down attitude from the Oilers. I like the fact that they were engaged with it and they said this game's over. We're going to try to get a pound of flesh. I had no issues with it. But now you just got to readjust and get back to your game.
Belsy, I saw earlier in the Nasty Chat that somebody said that this was a sore loser kind of move by the Oilers. I disagree with that. I think that's also part of what you said earlier, the game within the game. But how do you differ that for somebody that may think, well, they're just being big babies? But how do you, as somebody that's played in the NHL, what do you say to that when you're saying, well, that's a sore loser way to go out of a game?
Okay, are you trying to win the game? Are you trying to lose the game? Or are you trying to make friends? Because it's to me like you're trying to win a Stanley Cup, and if the roles were reversed, what do you think Florida was going to do? Ask Sebastian Aho how that went. Like they were trying to smash his head into the ice. So sure, we can argue that it was a sore loser type moment, but to me, it's like, hey, you guys want to try to play games? We're going to play games back. But the only thing I have is just don't lose your focus on what you have to do if you're the Oilers, and that focus is you've got to play. Like you can't play the rat game as well as Florida Panthers can. Nobody can. But the Oilers have players that obviously are physical. They can play physical, but they're also a skilled hockey team, and they can't forget that they can't get wrapped up too much into the nonsense. So there's that line that you got to dance on, but I think the Oilers went over the line, even though I quite enjoyed it.
Well, yeah, it was an quite, and I said this last night, Bellsy. I actually didn't think. I'll start over here. I thought both teams showed a lack of composure in the first period, but I thought the Oilers were worse. I mean, you look at some of the penalties Florida took; they weren't great either. I mean, Ekblad drags his foot and tripped, I think, Nurse, and then acts like, oh, but I didn't see him. Well, that's the whole point of a penalty. Like, you can't just say you didn't see a guy, plus he did. You know, I think Bennett took a high sticking penalty. And then don't forget Lundell, and this is the thing that's lost in all this. Bouchard gave Lundell a little punch at the end of the first period and suckered Lundell into a penalty because then Lundell punched him and the Oilers scored on that.
Yeah.
That could have been a game-changing play, but Edmonton gave the goal right back. And then, but it just seemed from the outset, though, and I don't know if you've been ever on a team that was in that situation, but the Oilers didn't seem focused on hockey to me. They seemed focused on revenge or whatever they thought revenge was right from the outset.
Well, yeah, I would agree with you on that because, you know, the commentary since game 2 was about Bennett and him crashing the goaltender. 2 games in a row, he accidentally on purpose fell into Skinner. So there was a lot of focus and attention on that and what are the Oilers going to do and how are they going to respond? And unfortunately, like, they're human and they're going to hear some of that stuff and they get annoyed with some of it. Because you want the refs to do something. You want the refs to make the call because that's what refs say they'll do. We'll make that call. And the reality is they didn't make the calls. I mean, actually, well, they did. In the second game, they pulled Bennett off the ice. But you're looking for a little bit more because, you know, this is a reputation that the guy earned. So you get into game 3, and that's in the back of your mind. Well, we got to deal with this guy so he knows that he can't be running our goaltender. Okay, that's fine and dandy, but you still also got to win a hockey game. And I do think that the Oilers were a little bit uncharacteristically undisciplined. And you can argue whether the calls were soft or if they were bad calls or whatever, but at the end of the day, there's still penalties. And both teams were getting them. And so you've got to find the line where you can say now, okay, well, that's the right penalty at a right time, maybe. But you've got to find that physicality. You got to find your game because this is Florida's game. They want to drag you into the back alley. They want to scrap you, and then they're going to smile and laugh in your face, which is only going to piss you off more. So it's like one of those things where you can't necessarily fall into their trap. And I thought the Oilers fell into their trap in game 3.
Okay, so all this aside, and I do believe the Oilers are going to be more disciplined and focused in game 4. But I thought that there have been times in this series where the Oilers have looked slow. And I didn't think that against Dallas. I didn't think that against Vegas. I didn't even think that against LA, even when they were playing poorly. So what's Florida doing to make the Oilers perhaps look slower than usual?
Well, they present a lot of back pressure. Their forwards are consistently coming at you. So, you know, their forecheck, we've obviously all talked about that and how solid that is, and it causes fits for a lot of different teams. But the other piece of that puzzle is their back check, like I just mentioned, and it allows their defensemen to stay up. It allows them to create good gaps, and they're forcing the Oilers to make plays that they don't normally want to do. Like, the Oilers are a puck possession team, and if they can carry the puck across the blue line and make plays from there, that's their game, and that's when they're feeling it. But Florida's done a good job of A, back checking, B, being above. They're always trying to match speeds of Draisaitl and McDavid and some of the other skill guys, which then slows those guys down. And then couple that with the fact that their gaps are really good, well, it makes you look slow.
Shawn Belle joining us here on the Reid Wilkins Show. Shawn Belle is, of course, the co-host of Hello Hockey, which airs here on Saturday mornings. So what now? What should the reasonable expectations be for Oilers fans heading into Game 4? Because, Belsy, we've been talking about it all day. I mean, that team did not look like they knew how to play hockey as a group. I don't know if they forgot, if Florida was just that good at getting them off their game. Is this something where the Oilers need to just now simplify and get back to dumping and chasing? Or what do you think is the expectation, a reasonable expectation for Game 4?
Well, I think they just got to find who they are again. And I mean, when we've seen them play at their best, they are forechecking very well. They are utilizing their speed, and they're playing a puck possession style, and it's a fast-paced style. So the biggest thing is stay out of the penalty box, and you can be as frustrated with the refs as you want to be. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. You eat a punch if you have to, because that's what matters in the playoffs. Because if you have that line between winning and losing, and winning that Stanley Cup, well, you might want to eat that punch. So to me, it's just as simple as like, stay out of the penalty box, play your game, and stop falling into the Florida trap. Yes, you have guys that are physical. Yes, you have guys that can be irritants. But you've also got the two best players in the world. You've also got a team that has been lighting people up for 3 series in a row. Find your game and stick to it, because now you want to force them to have to play your game. And in my personal opinion, I don't think Florida can play Edmonton style of game, right? Because that's what Florida wants, is they have their style, they stick to it, they don't waver from it, but you got to try to force them out. That's when they become beatable.
All right. Well, I'll end here with kind of a two-parter because I know some people have texted us and put in the nasty chat as well. And there is video of part of this, is that Walman sprayed the water after AJ Greer pulled his glove off when they kind of were jostling. And there is video of that. And then apparently the Panthers filled the glove with water before the linesman got it back. So, but I still think Walman doing the water spray is kind of a childish move. What do you think of the Walman spraying the bench? And what's the cheesiest thing you ever saw in a game, either from a teammate or an opponent?
I mean, like, once again, it goes back to this game within the game. And you're trying to do everything in your power to take the opposing team off their game. So you pull this guy's glove off and you're going to fill it with water. And hockey players hate when their gloves are soggy. So now you got to go out and you got to play with a soggy glove. Like, that just irritates you. And it sounds so small and so petty, but it's just something that in the back of your head, like, man, like my glove is slipping because it's just soaked. So I kind of thought it was funny because it's that game. And Walman spraying the water, like, no harm, no foul. I mean, who was the guy in the penalty box that was banging on the glass? Like, you got to relax. You're not getting doused with it. So it's, you know, either you open the gate and you go skate and try to get your glove back, which is not going to happen because there's too many men. So you got to do something to get their attention. So that's how I thought about that situation. But some of the cheesiest stuff that I saw, I get a kick out of, you know, fan interaction. So we were in Omaha and guys were just ripping us on the bench. So I actually grabbed a water bottle and there was like a little bit of a crack between the glass about this big. And I just squirted just enough and I got like 2 of them. And they were so mad that they decided to throw the beer back at me. But I kind of leaned back and the beer came right across the front of my chest and doused my teammates. And they were obviously pissed because I engaged in, foolishness. But those are probably some of the pettier things or the funnier things that I've seen. It's always that fan interaction because, you spray a guy with water, they don't want to get hit with water, and then they just go ballistic. So that's the good times.
Well, and there was some fan interaction when some Oilers players were going off. I think Kapanen was getting told he was number one by several Florida fans, and I'm sure that happened with several Oilers on the way out last night. All right, Bellsy, great to have you on. We will have you on next Tuesday.
Looking forward to it.
That could be a game day. It might not be. We'll know by then, though. Thanks, buddy.
Not a problem. See you, gentlemen.
Shawn Belle from Hello Hockey checking in, former NHL defenseman with some good perspective. And, that's kind of the theme. The Oilers need to play tough, physical, and all that kind of stuff, but play their game. Try to get the game to their tempo and spend a little more time in the Florida end of the rink. I'm just going to read you. Walman has been fined $5,000 for unsportsmanlike conduct for an incident involving Florida's bench during Monday's Game 3. The incident occurred at 16:49 of the second period. So that's what they say about that. I didn't know that. I didn't see that with Greer and the glove yesterday. But if there was video of that, they probably would get fined as well.
You would think.
But
AJ Greer's a spicy little character.
He is. Well, they're like that top to bottom, right?
Sure.
They got that pack mentality. They've become, do I pass the mantle of miserable bastards onto the Florida Panthers from the Vegas Golden Knights?
Yes, maybe.
I should give an award every year, my most miserable team of the year. It'll probably often be the Stanley Cup champion, too.
This came in on the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox from that Owen guy. Last night was a lose-lose situation in terms of response. People are saying it's sore losers, but if they didn't push back, then the narrative is they don't have any fight in them.
Exactly.
I'd rather see them fight for it than roll over. I think that's a great way to summarize that.
Well, that's exactly true. And I would, if you are going to do that, do it in the Stanley Cup Final. Like I know Brownie and I used to get a lot of that after games. Why didn't they try to beat everybody up? Well, it's November 14th.
Right.
I don't know if every time you lose a game or losing by two or more goals, you need to start something. I think when the stakes are this high, that's when you do it. And I know there's a lot of talk about, the term sending a message is used a lot. And the more sports I've covered and the more sports I've seen, because I saw it last night. Oh, guess what? Florida doesn't care. No, you're right. Florida doesn't care. You're not really sending Florida a message. You're sending your teammates a message. Okay, Milne.
Yes.
This guy's been slashing and sticking you for 2.5 for 2 games and or 8.5 periods or whatever the overtimes would be. So you know what? We're losing tonight, buddy. So with 10 minutes left in the third period, I'm going to cross-check him in the neck because he's done it to you 3 times. But he's done it in the course of play where it's sneaky. I'm just going to go up to him and do it after the whistle. So I'm probably not going to get that guy to stop doing anything, but I might send a message to you, my teammate, saying where you're like,
I got your back.
You know what? I'm so glad Wilkie did that. I'm going to get that son of a bitch a goal next game. Or whatever.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't always make sense. And it's not always intuitive, and it's not real life necessarily. But I think within a team environment, I think that's how it works. I mean, when you played football, if a guy did something, and I know you were a tough player and hit a lot of people yourself, but if a teammate did something to stand up for you, or got a guy who was trying to get you, that probably had meaning. Even if you knew
you're running through that wall.
Even if you knew your buddy took a flag or got thrown out.
Yeah, absolutely.
For you, that that there's things like that do matter, like it or not.
Yeah. Team building, camaraderie. That's when you got your brother's backs. And that's what you're showing there last night. Yeah, that's a great point, Reid. It doesn't really mean anything to Florida. It means something to the guys you have to look across at in the locker room, though.
Right.
And say, hey, boys, we went out punching and defending ourselves. Be proud of that. Let's regroup. On to the next one.
All right. Next one, still a couple days to wait. Too bad. We got to wait that long. Keep giving us the thumbs up on YouTube. A little bit of a stall here again. We've been experiencing this, but let's get a rally going. Everybody jump in there. If you haven't already, click the like button on YouTube. Do it pronto. Let's get that total going. We're basically at 100. We're like 2 away. And then we want to get to 155 for double word of the day, and then we want to get to 200 to keep that streak going. By the way, the text J Red came into 780-218-9999. The afternoon inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the kitchen restaurant, all you can eat surf and turf for just $59.99 every Friday from 4 to 10 p.m. We got the oil understood for GCL Diesel coming up.
After a 6-1 slugfest in Florida last night, Edmonton's Jake Walman walked away with $10,000 in fines from the NHL. Half of the fine was given to Walman for roughing Florida's Matthew Tkachuk, the other $5,000 for unsportsmanlike conduct in front of the Panthers bench. Well, in Calgary, the Flames have extended Adam Klapka to a 2-year extension worth over $1 million per season. The 24-year-old had 10 points in 31 games last year. Out east, the Jays and Cardinals rematch. Toronto picking up a 5-4 win in their series opener yesterday. Chris Bassett gets the call for the Jays. Miles Michaelis for St. Louis. First pitch for that one goes at 5:45. Well, in Kelowna, the Riverhawks and Falcons scrap in their series opener. Edmonton 4-2 on the season. Falcons 2-7 in the early going. Catch the action on any of ESC's audio streams with our stream joining midway through the game at 7:35. And on the court, Stingers Blackjacks throwdown from the Hive. Edmonton 2-5 on the season. Tip-off at 7 from BMO Field in Toronto. Canada's men's national soccer team takes on Ivory Coast at 6:30. This sports update is brought to you by Clover Bar Feeds. Clover Bar Feeds has all the animal feed you'll need. Get top-notch service and selection from their family-owned business. Visit Clover Bar Feeds at 200 Portage Close in Sherwood Park or call them at 780-467-5014. The oil understood for GCL Diesel brings us back on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
Gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
Sunday through Thursday, 9 p.m. to close, head to the Banquet and dive into Banquet burgers, sushi tacos, nachos, and more. Late night bites, big flavors, and epic deals. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
River Cree Resort and Casino proudly presents Ian Munsick. July 5th, live in the venue. Country fans, you don't want to miss an evening with Ian Munsick, a stampeding, spirited celebration of romance, ranch life, family, and forever young fun. Tickets on sale now at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
Keep your team jersey and rally towel close by and help bring the championship home. For all your other treasures, store them with Sentinel Storage. Store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca. Proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
Nice tune, Coob. Pretty good, buddy. Little, was it Rob Zombie-esque?
Yeah.
That's what that reminds me of.
Yeah, me too.
Was Dragula that big song he had?
Yeah.
More Human Than Human? Was that him or was that the band? Because wasn't he in the band White Zombie?
Rob Zombie?
Yes. Wasn't there a band White Zombie?
Oh, boy.
Now we're looking everything up. Somebody in the Nazi chat, I don't know. We got a lot of big music people.
More Human Than Human was Rob Zombie.
Oh, that was solo? Okay.
That was off.
Was
Astro
he ever in a band? I must be mixed up. Formerly of White Zombie. White Zombie was an American heavy metal band formed in 1985 in New York City, so that's on the East Coast. Rob Zombie was in White Zombie. But More Human Than Human was Rob Zombie solo. No, Astro Creep was a White Zombie record. Wow, we've learned a lot in the last 40 seconds, Jay.
Who's Sherry Moon Zombie?
Is that his wife?
Yeah. His last name's really Zombie?
No.
Well, then how come their married name's Zombie?
Because he probably changed his name. Rob Zombie was born Robert Bartley Cummings. Bartley, B-A-R-T-L-E-H.
So it's Sherry Moon's Cummings.
But it says he's known professionally as Rob Zombie. He's 60 years of age.
Do you ever think of yourself with a different name? Like, what if my name was...
No, I've never really thought about that, to be honest with you.
What do you think a good name would be for you other than Reid?
I've never thought about that.
I think you'd be
But he changed his last name, though.
I know.
Like it would be like if I changed my name to Reid Radio or something like that.
That would be terrible.
Or Reid Binder.
If you weren't Reid, look at me for a sec. I think you'd make a good Jim.
Well, that is my other name, is James. My full name is James Reid Wilkins, as you know.
That's true.
Yeah.
Would you go by James or Jimmy? Or Jim?
I honestly have never thought about it.
Big Tuna.
That was from The Office.
Jimbo.
I've never thought about it.
I don't know what other...
I think about a lot of weird stuff. I've never thought about having a different name.
Like if Zach wasn't Zach, I would say you'd be a good Steven, but with a PH.
I don't like it. Sorry for all the Stevens with PH out there.
It would fit. It would suit you.
Hunter was another name.
Hunter?
Yeah, Hunter or Heinz.
So your family considered for you?
Yeah, but my brother and dad didn't like it. They're like, no.
Your brother had a hand in naming you?
Yep. There was a vote.
How old is he?
Get out of
Is
here.
he way older than
He's
you?
10 years older than me.
Oh, okay. So, well, still. I don't know if I'd let a 10-year-old go around naming babies.
Well, yeah, you could still,
Like,
like,
that's-
what if you wanted to name me like Puppy or something?
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Yeah.
His name's,
Let's name him Broccoli.
his name's Poop Burger.
Okay. So I saw one of those memes on Instagram or Twitter or something. It's like the father and a son in a car, and then people put in their own text.
Right.
And the son is saying, the son is saying, why is my sister named Rose? And the dad says, well, because your mom really likes roses. And the son's like, oh, okay. And the dad's like, hey, no problem, 2025 Corey Perry.
I've seen that one too, but I've seen other iterations of it.
I know some kind of filthy iterations of that. Not exactly that style.
We should come up for alternate names of us.
The Alternate Name Society.
Yeah. The Jimmy Wilkins Show.
That sounds terrible.
With Luther Milne.
Luther Milne sounds cool. Jimmy Wilkins does not sound cool. I don't know. I like my name. I like the spelling.
I'm not saying it's
spelling
bad.
of my name. It's good.
I'm just saying it's a great name. It definitely suits you. Just saying, dream a little bit, bro.
Gene Principe is going to join us in about 25 minutes from probably Fort Lauderdale. I guess that's where he will be. He'll give us some of the vibe down there for the Stanley Cup Final. Edmonton Sports Talk, of course, is presented by Play Alberta. Why limit your choices when you could have it all? Play Alberta is your go-to app for casino games, sports betting, and lottery all in one place. With easy access to real money games, you can enjoy everything Alberta has to offer right at your fingertips. Download the Play Alberta app and start playing today. All right. We are going to jump into the Oil Understood. It is presented by GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around. From turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors, they are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years, and now a partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel. Understood. Who do you want to hear from first, Jay?
Knob.
Chris Knobloch, on practicing today, because I believe the initial plan was that they would not skate today. Oh, hang on.
Just with our schedule, it was, I guess, weren't 100% sure what we were going to do after the game. After we thought about it exactly what we wanted to do, so it was better to practice, then take the day off, and then have the pregame skate and kind of break it up a little bit and not be on the ice all the time. And then we find the 8 o'clock games just a long time not to be on the ice. So having the day off the day before, and then that's our plan.
I wonder if, too, they just thought, let's get these guys back on the ice and have them go through something hockey-wise and maybe get that taste of that game out of their mouths a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to take a day off anyways, it's get them back on the ice. Then they can have an extended period without, having to be at the rink.
Yeah.
I think that's wise.
And it was interesting, too, because I know all the games start at 6 o'clock Mountain, but the clock changes in the time zone you're in. So they are 8 o'clock Eastern games. So probably a well-attended morning skate on Thursday. Everybody gets back in. You got a little bit of a longer break before starting the game. Corey Perry was asked about the process of flushing bad games.
Well, you can't dwell on things you can't change. You can't change the outcome after the game has ended. So you look at what you didn't do right, or you could improve on, or whatever, however you want to say it, and take some positives out of it or whatever. But you have to flush it. It's the next one's the biggest one, and that's how we think about it. Is we lost the game. Get ready for the next one. Move on.
Yeah, and Speck asked the question, sort of, can you explain to fans? I don't think he meant just Oilers fans, but how you can actually do that, right? Because it affects observers emotionally, and then sometimes you hear players 10 minutes after a game, and you would hardly know that anything even happened, right? But I think basically what Corey Perry said, there's no choice if you want to try to win.
Well, you're talking about the mindset of a professional athlete. This has got to be what you do after games like that.
Crumple it up into a ball.
Throw it out.
Throw it across the room.
That's like sometimes in football, you'll hear coaches say, we're going to throw away that film. There's nothing to learn from it. Yeah. Let's just get out of here.
They never really do that.
Move on.
But, yeah.
I heard somewhere that somebody buried film once or something under a stadium.
Oh, probably.
And it's still there.
But they would. I don't think a coach would ever not show film or not go back and watch a game. They might decide not to show any to the players.
That's right.
Because they still want to see, okay, what happened? How did a player react if we were up or down? Because I still think you want, as a coach, maybe the playoffs are different, but I still think a coach would want to know who reacted how in a blowout loss.
Absolutely.
Who kept playing? Who kept being a teammate?
Composure.
Who decided they just wanted their stats? Who decided they weren't interested anymore in the fourth quarter or whatever? I still think they want to look at it, but there might be a point where it's like, oh my God, I can't show the players every mistake they made in this game, because then they're going to feel like they don't even know a thing about this sport. Yeah. Good point there. And also Leon Draisaitl talking about recovering from a bad game.
Well, I think our team's really good at reacting and answering to performances like last night. I think we've always been a good team at coming back out with a strong effort. So obviously, again, not our best showing, not our game, but we get a great chance in 2 days to show what our team's all about, what we worked for all year, and bring our best game.
All right. I want to get to a couple more clips from the Oilers because there were a couple more comments just about the last 10 minutes and how things were going in that game. Jay and I are coming to you from the Banquet Studio. Craving a late night snack? Check out the Banquet's new late night happy hour menu, Sunday to Thursday, 9 p.m. until close. Enjoy favorites like sweet and spicy lettuce wraps or the Banquet burger at happy hour prices. The Banquet. Get real, play hard. Also, remember Gene Principe coming up in about 20 minutes as well. Here is Zachary Kubish.
Edmonton's Jake Walman has received $10,000 in fine. Two separate fines, one for roughing Matthew Tkachuk of the Panthers while being also found guilty of unsportsmanlike conduct from an incident in front of the Florida's bench from last night. MLB action has Toronto and St. Louis playing once again. Jays picking up a 5-4 win in yesterday's series opener. First pitch for that one is at 5:45. Chris Bassett gets the ball for the Jays. Miles Michaelis, the man for St. Louis. The Riverhawks are playing tonight as well. They're on the road in Kelowna to face the Falcons. Edmonton sitting 4th in the North Division, 4-2 on the season, while Kelowna is 2-7 in the early going. Listen to the game on any of EST's audio streams. Coverage starting for that one at 7:30. And the Cactus Rats also duke it out tonight. They're in Lethbridge to face the Giants. Basketball action has Edmonton hosting Ottawa live from the Hive. They hit the court at 7. From BMO Field in Toronto, Canada's men's national soccer team takes on Ivory Coast at 6:30. This sports update is brought to you by Find Edmonton. Find takes your unused furniture and home goods to help those moving out of homelessness. Get donations picked up or drop them off free of charge. Visit findedmonton.com or call them at 780-988-1717. The Reid Wilkins Show rolls on once we get back from break. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Timeout, Edmonton. The new Play Alberta app has arrived, and it's here to make your gambling experiences more fun, exciting, and secure. Enjoy the convenience of hundreds of casino games, betting live on your favorite sports teams, and access to lotteries all in one place anywhere in Alberta. Enter code YEG50 to receive a $50 free bet when you make a $5 minimum deposit. That's a $50 free bet for new and existing users using code YEG50. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
Keep your team jersey and rally towel close by and help bring the championship home. For all your other treasures, store them with Sentinel Storage. Store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca. Proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
Good, Coop? We can go? What are those candies you brought today, Jake?
What are they called?
The ones we were just eating.
Starburst gummies.
They're good. Is it Starburst or Jolly Rancher?
Jolly Rancher.
Jolly Rancher.
There you go.
They're very good. Anything in gummy form is usually good, though.
That's a
that
big
sounded like I'm a
trend.
drug addict or something. Like gummy candy.
Yeah. It seems to be the trend. I mean, even nerds now.
We
have
had
the
those
gummies.
nerd clusters. Was it Gavin that got us those?
Barry the Cheater and Gavin.
Right, okay.
Now, we should, hey, Coob, summer ideas. We should review salty and sweet. One salty and one sweet. We'll do a segment once a week in the summer where we bring in a salty treat and a sweet treat, and we review them
I'd
live.
probably usually like the salty treat, though.
Oh, me and you like salty stuff.
Yeah.
Right? But that'd be fun.
Something to do in the summer. Just get fat. Eat a lot of sugar. He's Jason Milne. I'm Reid Wilkins. Keep clicking the thumbs up on YouTube. Completely stalled. I don't even think we're getting a double word of the day.
Wow.
I don't think we're even going to get to 155. For some reason, the thumbs are not there today.
You know,
fatigue
sets in.
Fatigue sets in. Maybe people are upset about the Oilers losing the game by 5 goals, and yes, playing quite poorly. So I don't know what's going on. I'm probably going to just stop looking at the thumb total.
Yes.
Because it is like we came shooting out of the gate. We got to like about 80, and since then it's been like tortoise speed. Well, that's fine. I mean, we'll do a single word of the day.
If we get there.
Yeah. If we get there. Well, we got single word of the day is 100.
Isn't it 120?
Oh, yeah, it's 120. Yeah, that's right. We're not even there.
We're not even there.
Oh, my God. Okay. Well, maybe we won't even be doing any word of the day. We'll just go home at 5:45.
Don't count your rabbits before they hatch, okay?
780-218-9999 is how you text us. It's the afternoon inbox presented by River Crib Resort and Casino, home of the kitchen restaurant. All you can eat prime rib buffet for just $49.99 every Sunday. That is from 4 to 10 p.m. Want to get to a couple other comments here from after Oilers practice today. Both these, well, no, there's a couple here. First of all, Leon Draisaitl commenting on the Panthers' gamesmanship.
That's part of their DNA. That's what they do. I think there's spurts in the series where we've handled it really well. Last night is, I mean, it's the game's over with 11 minutes left, right? Like whatever it is, and then all hell breaks loose. It's a UFC fight, but I think overall we can be a little bit more disciplined and stay away from that. But there's also times where we've handled it really well.
Well, and again, yes, it got out of hand in the last 10 minutes. I respect that some people won't like it. As the other texter wrote in, Jay, if the Oilers do nothing, then they get labeled as a team that just slinked off and took a beating. It's really the first two periods where we talked like the Kane penalties. Okay, maybe you accept he might take one of the two. He can't take both.
No.
And even a too many men. Like, to me, that was an indication that maybe their heads weren't in it, and it wasn't close. And it was two extra guys, not one extra guy. And I think one guy scrambled off, and didn't the other guy stay on and try to play his position? So, it wasn't great. But then this conversation about gamesmanship and the end of the game kind of continued, and Pierre LeBrun asked Leon a question.
And you guys are a veteran, savvy team. Normally, you don't come unglued like your team did last night. You had your own shift in the first where you and Sam Bennett had a thing. You went back at him, kind of unlike you, really. What is it about him and Marchand and Tkachuk, about that team, that makes teams go crazy when they play them?
I'm not going crazy. I don't know if anybody's going crazy. It's an emotional time. It's two teams that want to win, two teams of doing it their own way, but I don't think anybody is going crazy here. They're good at what they do, but again, last night was the first night where it got out of hand a little bit. The game's over. It's 5-1. Like I said, it's not a big deal. We have guys that are intense. They like getting in those situations just as much as they do. So there's not really that much to it.
Well, see, this is another thing. It's getting blown out of proportion. It's a talking point, yes, but it's not, as I've been saying over and over again, it's not unusual to hockey. And like I like Pierre LeBrun a lot. I think he's a really good reporter for sure. And I don't know, maybe it just came out wrong when he was asking the question, but he said, you were going at it with, was it Bennett? He said,
yeah,
that's kind of unlike you. No, it isn't.
No,
it's not unlike Leon Draisaitl to get into a little tiff with somebody or deliver a cross-check or a slash of his own.
No, I mean, if there's anybody on the Oilers that you would say,
especially for skilled guys,
yes, he's the one.
Kane, I guess, but yeah.
Well, no, he's the one because he does it quite well too. Leon has a way of doing it. Not, he gets away with a lot of those because they're usually at the right time or an opportune time. Whereas if Evander Kane's usually come out of emotion, right, and you're reacting to something that happened,
right.
But no, yeah, and yeah, I mean it's very it's a normal part of the game, and you're right. I think it is being blown out of proportion, or maybe we think it just because it got fed to us on a platter all night last night.
I get it. If you're watching that game or you turn on the highlights and you see the one wide shot of the third period of Nurse and Gadjevich fighting and 4 other almost fights happening spread out over the neutral zone, I get it. It looks dramatic. It looks crazy, like LeBron said. But it's not foreign to hockey. Maybe it doesn't happen as much as it used to, but it's not entirely foreign to hockey. One more clip here. Our buddy Ryan Rashog was asking head coach Chris Knobloch a question.
Chris, I'm not referring to the third period when it got out of hand, but just the kind of the game within the game, standing your ground in the crease, scrumming it up after the whistle, that sort of thing. Obviously, you don't want a group to get pushed around at all, but do you think you were a little bit on the wrong side of that, overdoing it a little in some ways, and it threw you guys off a bit?
Well, that's Florida does a really good job at that. That's their game. They like that. We got to play our game. That's with the puck, good defensive hockey, and some guys thrive on those extracurricular activities, things that happen after the whistle. But I think some of our guys got a little distracted with that. I think it's most important for us to play between the whistles, and there's going to be things that happen after, but I think it's most important is what we're doing between the whistles.
All right, so I'm sure that'll be a focus on Thursday, and hopefully we see a much more polished Oilers team come out for Game 4. Limerick here from Bronco Nick, emailing to Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Oilers lost their composure and the game. Nobody on the team looked the same. Go to the beach, the series is in reach, then practice hard and reignite the flame. Pretty good. Solid.
Might as well get another one in, right?
Do it.
From VR Montenegro, who is today going by violence-resistant Montenegro.
Good one.
In a game out of reach, a maelstrom of anger swirls. Plus, put the whistles away, meow. Let's see how this unfurls. Oilers engage this fully, always being the bully. Won't somebody please think of the children? Clutching pearls.
Nice.
Very well.
That's good. We got one or two more we'll get to a little bit later on. 4:53, Gene Principe coming up in 7 or 8 minutes. It'll be awesome to catch up with our buddy Gene. We're going to crunch the numbers right now for Gallo LLP, Chartered Professional Accountants, where they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John at Gallo LLP if you'd like to discuss further how they can crunch your numbers and help your business grow. Visit their website, gallollp.ca, and see how Gallo LLP can help your business grow. You want to do yours?
Wow,
mine's just a little baby one.
140 penalty minutes last night, Reid. 140 penalty minutes.
Not bad.
Edmonton had 10 minors, 1 major, and 5 10-minute misconducts in the third period. That's incredible. I mean, how does this happen time and time again? Where the first period in all 3 games of the series are full of penalties.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on there? Like, now I'm not overlooking it, especially because I already have a little bit of a, not disdain, but questioning of NHL officiating, which I believe has gotten more compelling to me over the course of this season. But was it 7 penalties? I mean, at some point you have to either, hey, stop the game and go talk to both benches, say, cut it out. Let the guys play. I mean, how could you even get into a rhythm? How could you get into, I mean, it was special teams the entire first period. Right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So I mean, I don't know, that first cross-check that Evander Kane took.
Yeah.
Like, really? Is that really a penalty? In the playoffs, in Game 3?
Technically.
I know, but in Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals? I don't know. It just seems, I don't know. It seems odd to me because it's been this way for all 3 games. I mean, Gustav Forsling, and I'll get to this in buying or selling. I have a question for you about this.
Okay.
But I mean, it seemed like Gustav Forsling was expecting that and decided to just, I'm gonna fall.
Yeah, maybe.
Right? That across. I get it, Reid. I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say, Jay, well, don't put yourself in those situations to give them the opportunity to make that call. I get that, but then you have the option to not call that as well, because it sure didn't help keep the game in check. That certainly got out of control on its own. So I don't know. That's my rant.
All right, that's fine.
Too many penalties. Let the kids play, Reid.
Crunching the numbers for Gallo LOP. This is the 3rd game in the playoffs. Leon Draisaitl has had 0 shots on goal. But in the other games, both against Dallas, he had an assist in one of the games and 2 assists in the other game. So he went shotless and pointless. In the entire regular season, he had 2 games in which he did not register a shot, and in both games he didn't have a point. No assists, no goals. Well, obviously you wouldn't have a goal. So pretty rare for him to go without a shot. I mean, he didn't have a shot attempt last night. He didn't look good. I didn't think McDavid had a great game. I mean, he got hit pretty hard on that one play in the second period. I know he briefly left and came back. I'm sure he was fine. But just a little more evidence, it was all over the lineup last night. I mean, was there an order that you thought, he played okay? I don't know. Nice goal by Perry, I guess.
I will say Adam Henrique in the faceoff dot. I mean, at one point he was 100% through the first period, which they needed to, to be able to get the puck out of the zone because they were always on the penalty kill. I thought he was all right. I think other than the terrible giveaway, but Colson was noticeable. Forechecking. Arvidsson, just, I don't know. I don't know if this style of play or this, the way that Florida plays and the punishing way they play, fits his style of play.
Right.
It seemed like he was constantly on the ice. The best player for the Oilers last night, I'd say, was Evan Bouchard.
Well, what do you have? 13 shot attempts? He had a ton.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that he had that mentality. And he had that one shot in the first period, but Bobrovsky did not see. It just barely hit Bobrovsky's blocker, which is part of being a good goalie.
Yeah,
you got to take up enough space. All right, keep giving us the thumbs up. We have eclipsed Word of the Day territory. We need a couple dozen for double Word of the Day. I don't know how we're going to get to 200 at this point. I guess this might be just the second playoff show.
Come on,
not to have 200.
Reid gave the rant of the year off the top of the show, and this is how you repay him.
Maybe we got to replay it. I don't know.
Maybe.
Can we do that, Coop?
Somehow, some way, maybe.
Anyway, 780-218-9999 is how you text the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. Gene Principe is scheduled to join us after the 5 o'clock break.
The EST Hangout.
Can we get a countdown for when Happy Gilmore comes out? I'm looking forward to that. Oh, God. I love that scene where they're knitting the blankets and he's like on the phone trying to sell them. He's like, good news, everybody. Arts and crafts time has been extended by 8 hours. And then the little lady goes, my fingers hurt. What's that? My fingers hurt. Well, guess what? Now your back's going to hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Fridays just got a whole lot more fun. Spin the wheel at the banquet for your shot to win big and save on your bill. Spin, win, save. It's that easy. Details at thebanquetbar.com. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
Timeout, Edmonton. The new Play Alberta app has arrived, and it's here to make your gambling experiences more fun, exciting, and secure. Enjoy the convenience of hundreds of casino games, betting live on your favorite sports teams, and access to lotteries all in one place anywhere in Alberta. Enter code YEG50 to receive a $50 free bet when you make a $5 minimum deposit. That's a $50 free bet for new and existing users using code YEG50. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
At Mind360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
Following Edmonton's 6-1 loss to Florida in Game 3 last night, Jake Walman of the Oilers has been fined $10,000 for 2 of his actions in the game. Half of the fine was dished out for unsportsmanlike conduct he showed in front of the Panthers bench, and $5,000 for roughing against Florida's Matthew Tkachuk. Elsewhere, the Broncos have signed J.K. Dobbins to a 1-year contract worth over $5 million. The 26-year-old had over 900 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns in 13 games for the Chargers last season. From St. Louis, the Jays and Cardinals duke it out. Toronto winning 5-4 yesterday in their series opener. Jays giving Chris Bassett the start, while St. Louis gives Miles Michaelis the ball. First pitch at 5:45. And the Riverhawks are on the road in Kelowna to battle the Falcons. First pitch just after 6:30. EST carrying coverage of the game on any of our audio streams. We'll join that one at 7:35. At home, the Stingers tip off with the Blackjacks at 7. Edmonton 2-5 in the early going of the season. Ottawa with a record of 2-4. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The third and final hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
All right, hope you have a great afternoon. 2 minutes after 5, along with Jason Milne, I'm Reid Wilkins on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports, presented by Play Alberta. The Oilers down 2-1 in the best-of-7 Stanley Cup Final. Game 4 coming up in a couple of days, Thursday. So remember, on Thursday, this show will go from 3 to 5, so we'll be an hour shorter than usual. At 5 o'clock, Tom Gazzola, Hernan Salas will take over the stream for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. They will be live at Hudson's on Bourbon Street. Some members of the Edmonton media are live in Florida, covering the series in person, including my very good friend and wonderful human being from Sportsnet. It's Gene Principe coming back to the show. Gino, how's it going?
Hey, good. Jason Reid, how are you?
Well, we're doing great. Now, last time you were on was during the Vegas series. And I talked to you last week, and I said, Gene, I know I'm a pest. I know I always bug you. Even when I worked at Lloydminster, I used to bug you. Look at my tape. Give me a job. Tell me something. And now you're coming on my talk show. But I did say, look, there's a couple off days. Do you think you could do something? And you were like, yeah, I'll well be able to do something. So, but and Vegas, you had this great sort of view behind you. Where are you today?
Yeah. Well, I'll show you. So we're staying in Fort Lauderdale, and there's a number of the Oilers are kind of along this strip. Anyone who's been to the Fort Lauderdale area, you got a bunch of hotels, and then you've got a road, and then you've got that. Can you see it?
Yeah, I know where you are, roughly. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, you know what is it's a favorite place for anybody who likes, I guess, sand, sun, beach, water. It's a wonderful spot. Usually when the Edmonton Oilers are here during the regular season, the schedule maker is actually fairly kind in that they've got a couple of days. So the only downside, and this is like saying you don't like the mole on Cindy Crawford's face, you're about 35, 45, maybe 50-minute drive prior to the game, not in the morning, but at night. Yesterday I got in an Uber at 5:15. I got to the rink at 6:07, which was okay. But anything that gets into that 2-hour window, you just want to be there. Just, I don't know, for nothing, for anything, for everything. You just never know. As you often used to do, Reid, and still go to games, and you just kind of want to hang around. It's the Cup Final. We're running out of games, so you want to soak up and be around just in case anything occurs. So I got there. I had a driver who, on a 65 miles per hour is the speed limit on the freeway. He was going 50. So I still gave him 5 stars. I couldn't help myself. I just thought that would be nice if I did.
Gene. Yeah.
I know. And I tipped him 15%.
Wow.
Well, as long as Sportsnet's covering, that's fine. Yeah, JG's giving us the shush sign for those people on the audio stream.
Gene, I was just wondering, what do you get up to on an off day? Now, I know you're probably still doing some hits and whatnot, but it's not a game day. So what do you get up to in Fort Lauderdale for Gene Principe?
Well, how about if I show you this again?
That's it.
That's it.
He's just sitting there.
You're across the street from the beach, so every day there's some kind of availability. So today the Oilers had a full skate, and Florida was opposite. Nobody skated. The Oilers kind of flip-flopped their days. So tomorrow it'll be more of a Florida skate. And we don't officially have what Edmonton is doing or not doing, but it looks like it could be a complete day off for the team. So I think just coming off last night. So yeah, beach. I'm a big beach guy. Actually, as part of the resort fee that you pay at the hotel, you can get 2 beach chairs and an umbrella. You can also go for a bike ride for 2. They got 2 bikes. So I went I want to go for a ride tomorrow if the weather's nice, and I'll spend time at the rink. And yeah, I mean, you're in Florida, so you find some things to do. And we've had a couple of team building, team getting together things and Hockey Night Canada as well. We just had a function. So it's the end of the road for everybody, whether you play, whether you're equipment manager, whether you're the GM, whether you're the play-by-play or the host or whomever. So we're kind of enjoying each other's company before this is all over soon, but not too soon.
Yeah. Gene Principe joining us here on the Reid Wilkins Show. Gene, the hair looks great. I must say, I just was wondering, has there been any thought given to maybe a little trim prior to Game 4? Because last time you were on, that was, I believe, the day after the haircut, and that was Game 1.
Talking to me right now, it just kind of froze up.
Okay,
to see if I can. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, now I got you back.
You got us.
I was saying, is there any thought of maybe getting a little trim prior to Game 4? Because last time you were on, that was prior to Vegas Game 1, and the haircut heard around the world, and it worked. So I'm just wondering, have you given any thought to that, Gene?
So I caught the thing about the haircut. I'm going to go inside my room just to see if I get maybe a little bit better quality here. Yes, I have thought about it, because I cut my hair the morning of Game 1 versus Vegas, and the Oilers 1-5 and the Oilers 1-5, and there are 2 rounds since then. So I have thought about it. It's funny when you have long hair for so long, you get used to it. Then when you get it cut really short, even just a month's worth of growth feels not long, but you can tell the difference. But for now, no more haircuts. I'm Hockey Night in Canada for the next 4 games or less. And so I'm right down the middle, unbiased, Panthers, Oilers. That's my job, and I'm doing it. So no haircuts to change anything. I think the Oilers will take care of that themselves, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, good to know that. I'm curious about how many Oilers fans were at the game? I know that's hard to estimate, but your sense of how many Oilers fans were at the game, or you're just seeing around the Fort Lauderdale area?
I would say a fair amount. The last time I was here for a playoff game was Game 7, and that was incredible. The thousands of Oilers fans that we saw. So it seems to quote unquote pale in comparison, but it's just because of the high standard set from Game 7 of last year's Stanley Cup Final. I'm seeing lots of people, around the rink. You see them, on the boardwalk, around the restaurants here in Fort Lauderdale. I know that from some of the people I've spoken to that if you're coming here for hockey, but an unlikely Stanley Cup clinching game, then you would show up for games 3 and 4 because it's about a 5-6 day trip, 2 games, days in between. I mean, it definitely is like a holiday, and you're watching hockey. But I think some people were more intent on the clincher, or what they think could be the clincher, which is Game 6. So I'm wondering if the Oilers are able to win 2 in a row to get to that 3-2 series lead, how many people, it'll be Game 7 all over again, but it'll be Game 6. With Edmonton, again, a chance to clinch, knowing that if they're able to get to 3-2 in their favor, they'll have 2 chances where last year they only had the 1.
All right. I was following some people on Twitter, Oilers fans who were at the game, and they were taking some jabs at the volume in the building compared to Rogers Place, and taking some jabs at, so too many men means more than 5. Oh, that's Draisaitl. They're a good player. Look, that comes with it. But what is sort of the vibe down? Like, are you in Fort Lauderdale and do you get the sense everybody knows their local team, their regional teams playing for a championship? What do you detect?
Today when I was on the beach, actually, and I mentioned you get the 2 beach chairs. So there was a couple of workers who were distributing beach chairs to people. And, the one guy said to the other, did you watch a hockey game last night? And he goes, wow, did you see that third period? So, people are watching it. Listen, it's just kind of not, I don't know if it's not fair, but it's not realistic, I think, to compare certain markets to other markets. Inside the building, it was full last night. Is it as loud as Edmonton? They didn't have the decibel level there. From my untrained ears, I would say it wasn't as loud as Edmonton was. And you might say that about lots of other arenas too. Florida is a hockey market. Is it anywhere, everywhere? You drive around, you walk around Edmonton, particularly on a game day, and there's jerseys. Everyone's wearing jerseys to work, or T-shirts to work, or an Oiler cap. It's just a bit different. But I want to be clear. It's not a criticism. It's just an observation from what I see. That doesn't mean that the 19,000 people that show up inside Emirates Bank Arena, aren't crazy about the Panthers winning. I mean, it was a very lively crowd, especially in the third period. And one of the things I noticed, I don't know if you saw those the towels, the Rats rules towels. There were none. Usually after a game, there's stuff just all over the place, but it looked like everybody enjoyed those towels because they brought them home with them. So it is a hockey area. It's just not the same as the hockey area we're accustomed to.
Okay, one more for you. I'm just curious where practice was today. What was it? The Baptist Health Complex? What are we talking about here?
Yeah. You had to go. You had to actually have communion before you. No, just kidding. It's a beautiful practice facility, in fact. So it would be about 15 minutes from where we're staying, and then it would be about half an hour from there to Emirates Bank Arena. They've got 2 ice surfaces. Beautiful, lounge, restaurant. When we were finishing up our work, there were a bunch of little kids that were skating in June, right? So, the one thing I would say about Florida, it was 96 when they last made it prior to this run to a cup final. it's grown. The game of hockey has grown. Listen, I'm born and raised in Edmonton. I'm used to winters, or at least know what's coming. And you get down here and it's sand, it's sun, it's beach, it's palm trees, it's 30 degrees, it's 90 degree or 90% humidity. Sometimes you got to kind of remind yourself what you're here for, and that's hockey. They live this all year round, and so they're just different places. And I think the Oilers are probably, I don't know if they're enjoying the warm weather, but just an opportunity to be together on the road as they get ready for what they hope is not their last road trip of the season, thinking that, unless they win Game 4, they've got to go the distance here, at least to 6 games, so there would be another trip. But people here are friendly. They know hockey. Again, Reid, Jason, do they know it quite like Edmonton knows it, or Winnipeg knows it, or Canadian cities, or even some American cities? I don't know, but there's lots here, and you enjoy what's going on around here, and the games are certainly entertaining. And listening to the Oilers today, they seem set on reversing their fortunes and doing it in a different way than the way things went in Game 3.
Gene, as always, I appreciate your time. We love having you on Edmonton Sports Talk. You've been incredibly kind to me over the years, and I think you've proven here with your description of some of your activities today, you are truly a son of a beach.
You got it, buddy.
All right.
There you go.
There it is. All right. Thank you, Gene.
Wow. Thank you.
Gene Principe checking in from Fort Lauderdale. We love him.
That was impressive.
He's great.
Son of a beach. That was impressive.
Sometimes I think of a good one. Or a bad one, perhaps, depending on how you look at it.
That must be interesting. And I don't know if it would have been appropriate to ask, but switching from the Oilers guy to now the Sportsnet guy, right? Whereas you're broadcasting all season as Gene Principe of the Edmonton Oilers, or with the Edmonton Oilers broadcast. Now you're on the national broadcast, and it must change a lot of I guess maybe ways of preparation for Gene.
Well, what did he say before that, as he becomes more national, that he's got to tone down the punnage a little bit and maybe appeal to a wider audience or be less quirky? But I think when the Oilers are playing, when they have a road trip that goes, Nashville, Minnesota, Chicago, people just want to know about the Oilers. But now it's in the playoffs. There's more interest from Oilers fans what the Panthers are doing too. So I think, I'm sure it's a good opportunity for him to cover, both. And the thing is, a lot of the press conferences are sometimes in the same place. You don't have to go all over the place. Though I was curious about this rink today.
What was it called?
Baptist Health Complex. Is that what it was? Hang on. They were at the Baptist Health Iceplex. Baptist Health Iceplex.
Oh yeah.
But it's interesting now. Now sometimes the Oilers would practice in Leduc or at Russ Barnes Arena when they were at Northlands. Now with the two ice surfaces, you never really have that where they have to go somewhere else to practice, right? Whereas the teams in a lot of, the Rangers, for example, always practice. They don't practice at MSG. Everything's, Rye, New York, I think. I believe LA has something in El Segundo, and they mostly just and then they just go to the arena for games. So the Oilers, it's not every team that gets to have everything in one building most of the time like the Oilers do. Anyway, 780-218-9999 is how you can text us. That's the afternoon inbox presented by River Crew Resort and Casino, featuring Italia Restaurant, home of the $6.99 brunch special from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sundays. If you are taking us in on YouTube this afternoon, thanks for doing so. Give us a thumbs up. We just got to 155, so we will have a double word of the day. We need basically a thumb a minute to get to 200. So we still got a shot. We went up bigly late in the show yesterday, so there might have been some pleasure delayers, or maybe there are some people who pop in on YouTube after work or whatever. So don't delay. Get in there and click. Give us a thumbs up. See if we can keep our streak alive of getting to 200. We got buying or selling for Damon Bunting coming up. We do have the double word of the day. Here comes the coop.
Following the scrap between Florida and Edmonton last night, the NHL has fined Jake Walman of the Oilers $10,000 for two separate actions in the game. One fine for his roughing against Florida's Matthew Tkachuk, and the other for unsportsmanlike conduct in front of the Panthers bench. NFL News sees 26-year-old J.K. Dobbins on the way to Denver on a one-year deal worth over $5 million. The former Charger had over 900 rushing yards, 9 touchdowns in 13 games for LA last season. Tons of baseball action on tap. Jays and Cardinals face off in St. Louis. Toronto winning 5-4 yesterday. The Jays giving Chris Bassett the ball. First pitch just before 6. Right now, 3 games are live, including the Tigers up 1-0 on the Orioles in the top of the 3rd inning. And in Kelowna, it's the Riverhawks and Falcons going at it. EST's got you covered with the game live on any of our audio streams. First pitch at 6:35. We'll hop into the game at 7:35. From the Hive, Stingers play the Blackjacks. Tip-off at 7, while in soccer, Canada hosts Ivory Coast. That one starts at 6:30. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated since 1993. They have doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, they got plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff today at Windsor Plywood Leduc. Buying or selling for Damon Bunting brings us back on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up in the loop.
Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric.
Craig Button this morning.
And let's not forget the Panthers had 3 penalties in the first period, too. I get it. You're sitting there, you're rooting for your team, and you go, the officials are against us. That's just part and parcel of being a fan, and I think the games have been officiated really, really well. Outside of that, too many men on the ice missed call in game 2. I don't have any issues with the officials.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric, presented by Southport Chevrolet. Weekday mornings 6 to 9, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Strike up some fun at the Banquet Bar. Bowling, drinks, and a great time with friends where the good times roll. Whether you're here to bowl or just hang out, the Banquet Bar is your go-to spot. Get real, play hard at the Banquet.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino proudly presents Ian Munsick. July 5th, live in the venue. Country fans, you don't want to miss an evening with Ian Munsick, a stampeding, spirited celebration of romance, ranch life, family, and forever young fun. Tickets on sale now at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Keep your team jersey and rally towel close by and help bring the championship home. For all your other treasures, store them with Sentinel Storage. Store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca. Proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
Thumb Click Remix. Creation of Zachary Kubish. Hold on, drop my pen, Jake. I got it. Appreciate you tuning in this afternoon. We are coming to you from the Banquet Studio. Every Monday, bowl for just $2 all day at the Banquet Bar. Walk in, grab your friends, and start your week with some fun. Get real, play hard. The Banquet. He's Jason Milne. I'm Reid Wilkins. Zach Kubish is along for the ride as well. Kub, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. That was a pretty good hit from Gene. Always love to see him on the show.
Now, what's your first memory of Gene Principe? Do you always know him as a Sportsnet guy?
He's always been the Sportsnet guy.
So you have no memory of him on A Channel?
That's my first memory.
I don't even know what A Channel is.
Is him on...
Yeah,
really.
that's when I first started watching him.
Wasn't A Channel... Was it 13?
Probably.
Well, ITV used to be 13, but then they changed it to 8.
Well, there was also cable and over the air when I was a kid.
Right. I never had
You had
cable.
an antenna.
So it would have been old school.
Was A Channel 7 at first?
Maybe 7, yeah. And then Access Network was 9.
Oh, yeah.
CBC was 5.
Well, when I was a kid, there was Channel 3 and Channel 5.
Channel
That
3,
was it.
CTV, CBC. And then ITV was 8 or 13.
Yeah.
French Channel was always 11.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
I wonder how they got that.
I can remember some nights my dad and I, I've told you about this rotor we would have. So we'd have to change it to get Channel 13, and the orders were on ITV, and you could get the French channel pretty snowy, but sometimes we'd watch like Canadians playoff games if the orders weren't playing. And it was so snowy. It was so snowy.
Was it Bruce Buchanan? Was the old play-by-play on A Channel?
Yes. Bruce Buchanan did play-by-play on H. Because what happened? They left ITV, and then it was on CFRN, and Al Nagy did play-by-play, I think, for a couple of years. And then when it went to A Channel, was it Bruce Buchanan, and then was it not...
Tim Spellacy?
No, Spellacy was on Global. The guy that just retired a couple of years ago. Oh, God, I can see his face. I know him. I've talked to him. What was his name? I can't believe I forgot his name. He used to be he used to work in the...
Oh, I can see his face,
Yeah,
too.
what was his... God, I know the guy.
Tim?
No, not Tim. You're thinking of Tim Dancing and Tim Spellacy.
Yeah.
This is A Channel. Oh, God. This is embarrassing. Shows you my memory's failing. Somebody will put it in the chat. Why can I not remember his name?
Wasn't Spency 5 Cents saying McIntyre? No.
No, Daryl McIntyre was a news guy.
Gorilla Monsoon?
No. This is bad. This is really bad.
Oh, man. So he was the A Channel guy?
Yes, I'm pretty sure he was... pretty sure he was the A Channel era. God, I'm going to be furious when I see it.
Kevin Quinn?
No, not Kevin Quinn. He was before Bob. Who am I thinking of here? Wasn't Bruce Buchanan?
John Garrett?
No. Why is he not listed on here? There is a Wikipedia page. Oh my God. This is actually bugging me now. He recently retired. He went and worked for TSN. He did Jets games, and I think he did Leafs games.
Roger Millions?
No, not Roger Millions. I interviewed him my last year at Ched. Hang on. Is he on this list? Have I made somebody up in my head that
Maybe,
didn't exist
because I'm
for
seeing a
several
list
years?
of broadcasters. They have
Dennis Bayak. Dennis Bayak. Dennis Bayak. God.
Yes.
I was thinking Belak. Dennis Bayak. You remember Dennis Bayak?
I do.
Right. So he was in there as well. I can't remember the years for him. So Dennis Bayak was another one that I think was on A Channel.
Wow.
Yeah, but Bruce Buchanan did it for a while. Kevin Quinn came in, and now Jack does most of the TV regionally. Whoa. Jeez. That was upsetting. Dennis Bayak. I interviewed Dennis Bayak for my career investigation. So he must have been doing Oilers games in the late 90s at some point. I wonder if he was before Bruce Buchanan then.
Well, his name didn't come up on the list of broadcasters.
No, but he definitely did Oilers games on TV. So I'm not sure where that came from. Dennis Bayak.
Mex says, now Reid knows how we feel when trying to guess the mystery athlete.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Too bad. We need 30 thumbs to get to 200. So get in there and click if you're watching on YouTube and haven't clicked already, or if you got time to come in from an audio stream and do it, or share the link with somebody and tell them to click the thumbs up.
My mom must be listening. She texted in Eric Neville.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is.
Eric Neville. That sounds like a soccer broadcaster.
She's trying to Henway us?
Eric Neville, Oilers broadcaster. Well, he was on CFRN. He was Klondike Eric. He passed away a little over 10 years ago. I'm pretty sure he was never on Oilers games that I can remember.
Popcorn Playhouse host.
Yeah, I don't know who Eric Neville is. I'm sorry to Pearl.
It's good.
If he did Oilers games, he wasn't play-by-play. Maybe he did something else. So Spellacy and Dancy were on ITV. I think Dancy only did a year of play-by-play, and then he went and did Riders games. And then he wound up back in Edmonton, and then he unfortunately passed away about 5 years ago.
He was working with Shaw Cable, wasn't he? Tim
yes,
Dancy?
and then he was with Chorus. He was in the building there for a while doing that. So anyway. All right, what were we talking about? Buying or selling?
Yeah.
Buying or selling is presented by Damon Bunting, a consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, Instagram handle, Damon Bunting Real Estate. All right, what do you have for me, buddy?
Okay. Buying or selling. Florida was game planning to, and I use this in air quotes, fall rather easily leading into last night's game.
Buying.
Yeah.
No, selling. I'm
You
selling.
are.
They don't game plan.
Reid,
They don't sit there
like
and plan
wet
it.
noodles. I mean, Kane's that cross check that happens regularly in front of the net, right?
But I don't think
Darnell Nurse,
I don't think they're saying
that
okay.
cross check. We'll just hang on.
But I don't think they sit in the locker room and say, "Okay, guys, let's go down." I think they say what Kachuk said. Hey, if we got to take a punch, if we got to turn the other cheek, we do that.
Yeah, Darnell Nurse hardly touches Anton Lundell. He flies into the boards. And then Bobrovsky looks like he...
Well, that was embellishment. That could have been a penalty on both guys. Sure.
Okay. Oilers' power play is 4 for 30 on the road this postseason. That's 13.3%.
That's terrible.
Buying or selling, the Oilers need to be less cute and simply start firing away.
I'm totally buying that, as I'm sure you knew I would. I think Bouchard wanted to shoot last night. I mean, Florida's doing a good job. So they have the power play goal in overtime. They have the power play goal where McDavid walked Ekblad and got it across to Draisaitl. That was a brilliant goal. So they have a couple. Well, those were both at home, though, weren't they? Yeah, I think they got to shoot. I know Florida does a good job of getting in the shooting lanes, and I know Bobrovsky's an excellent goaltender. But yeah, it starts with a shot. And maybe you don't have to pass it 40 times. I mean, maybe McDavid's got a good wrist shot. Nugent Hopkins has a good wrist shot. Just get the puck on the net. And they didn't start a power play with 2D that Nugent Hopkins was off, and I think Walman was on.
Walman was on. That was at the.
So that was the one they scored.
That was
on.
the one they scored.
And McDavid had been substituted off. He'd changed, right? I don't think he was on the ice for that one. Yeah, the power play hasn't been great. Tons of chances yesterday in a penalty-filled game. But yeah, I definitely think they need to shoot more. 100%.
You got anything for me?
I do have a fun one. I don't know if you'll like it or not.
Ooh, I like fun things.
Buying or selling. The letter C is an unnecessary part of the English language.
Oh, baby. This is one we can really sink our teeth into. C. So
the letter C is an unnecessary letter in the English language.
We just did crunching the numbers.
Right.
So you're saying that could be replaced with a K?
Yes. Same thing.
And
don't need a C.
Celebration could be an S.
Yes, absolutely. Why have a soft C when you already have an S?
Cheese. That's why. Cheddar. Cheese. What's going to replace a CH sound?
KH. No, but it's the same thing. Okay, like in the word block, why do we need a C there?
You don't.
Right.
Totally unnecessary.
Right.
But then what would replace C?
S or K?
A, B, S, D, E,
no, it's
F.
gone. It's just gone.
Oh.
It's okay. Is there a word where you need the letter C?
Well, yeah.
So just the CH.
Chisel.
Okay, we could make one letter out of that then.
Chastise. Chunky.
Why can't we just become a K and we get
Cheddar.
used to that being the sound?
Because then you'd say cast eyes.
No, you wouldn't. It would be a slight change.
Or Ketter Keys.
But if there was an H, you would know that it's the ch sound. Or we could come up with a new letter that's
what about
for ch.
XK is ch.
Yeah, well, that would make more sense than how X is used most of the time.
X, I feel bad for X. X is an underused letter. It doesn't fit. I mean, what was the, and don't, I know it, okay, I'll tell me what I'm thinking. What was the letter in the children's book that referenced when you, X is for?
Xylophone.
Exactly. That's exactly.
Xy, so that's like a Z-I sound.
I guess we don't need C, but we need to replace, so X, K?
So you need a ch sound. Now, in Ukrainian, which I can sort of read, ch and sh are their own letters. They have more than 26 letters. Right? So the sound for ch, that's its own letter. Maybe that's what we should do. Because do you really need the letter C? Calvin, okay, that's with a K. McDavid, MK David. You don't need it. You're thinking about it.
I think there's something better with ch. Oh. TIA.
What do you mean?
Cha. CH?
Yeah.
Could be TIA.
But then it's Tia.
No, it's like Kucha.
Oh, but that's Tia.
Not Kucha.
It's not Chia's for cheese. All right, well, C can stay for the time being. Yeah, it's close. I know what you're going for. Not quite there. Hey, don't forget to check out Jay's Play of the Day on playalberta.ca. Click on EST Specials, and then look at Jay's Play of the Day. It's a big, what do we call it, a parlay? I was going to say combo.
A big parlay.
Big parlay for the Week 2 in the Canadian Football League, which starts on Thursday. The Elks do not play this week. Edmonton Sports Talk, presented by Play Alberta, your home for online gaming excitement, featuring casino games, live dealer action, lottery, instance, and sports betting. Now with the new Play Alberta app, you can take the fun with you anywhere. Download the app or sign up at playalberta.ca. So the Oilers practice tomorrow. Not likely to practice tomorrow. And then you got the game day on Thursday, Game 4, Oilers at Panthers, Florida up 2-1 in the best-of-7 Stanley Cup Final. I want to get to this here quickly from last night, by the way.
Chris, what was the thinking behind pulling Stu, and do you have a decision on goaltending to make for Game 4?
No, we haven't made a decision on goaltending, and Stu, I don't think, had much chance on many of those goals.
Okay, that was a longer clip, but it's really the start of
Chris,
that.
what was the thinking behind pulling Stu, and do you have a decision on goaltending to make for Game 4?
No, we haven't made a decision on goaltending.
Okay. I would have loved Chris Knobloch, and I'm not sure who that was. It might have been Wyshynski, who is on this station, but I couldn't quite tell the voice. I would have loved Chris Knobloch. And look, I've been in that situation. I ask questions. Not all my questions are beauties. But I would have loved Chris. Can you imagine if Knobloch goes, I want to ask you something. How many times in your years covering the National Hockey League has a coach named his starting goaltender for the next game that's in 70 hours after losing the game that was just played? How many times, huh? No, I'm not naming my starting goaltender for Thursday. I would have loved it if Knobloch would have pulled that out. He's too calm, though. Skinner's going to start, right? Is there any doubt?
I don't think there should be.
I don't think there is any doubt that Stuart Skinner's starting the next game.
Mr. Game 4.
Well, that's a good point. This is the point in the series where the Oilers often get serious now, right?
Yeah, they've woken up
based on how previous seasons have gone. All right, we got to do a break. We're going to do a double word of the day. We need 30 thumbs for 200. Get in there and click if you haven't. We want to keep our streak alive of getting 200.
We're close. Let's go.
Give us some good mojo for the Oilers coming up on Thursday. Here comes the Coop.
After a 6-1 slugfest in Florida last night, Edmonton's Jake Walman walked away with $10,000 in fines. Half of the fine was given to Walman for roughing Florida's Matthew Tkachuk, the other $5,000 for an unsportsmanlike conduct in front of the Panthers bench. In Calgary, the Flames have extended Adam Klapka to a 2-year extension worth over $1 million per season. The 24-year-old had 10 points in 31 games last year. While out East, the Jays and Cardinals rematch. Toronto picking up a 5-4 win in their series opener yesterday. Chris Bassett gets the call for the Jays. First pitch at 5:45. Right now, 6 games are underway, having the Cubs and Phillies tied at 2 apiece. The Pirates down 2-0 to the Marlins in the 4th, while the Nationals hold the Mets 2-0 in the 2nd inning. While from Kelowna, the Riverhawks and Falcons scrap in their series opener. Edmonton 4-2 on the season. Falcons 2-7 in the early going. Catch the action on any of EST's audio streams. First pitch at 6:35. On the court, the Stingers and Blackjacks throw down from the Hive. Edmonton 2-5 on the season. Tip-off at 7 o'clock. The final segment of the Reid Wilkins Show brings us back on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
All right, 5:43. Wow, really slowing it down here for the last bit of the show, eh, Coop? Just taking us home lightly, light as a feather. My goodness,
as only the Coop can.
As only the Coop can. The gentle,
sultry sounds
with the Coop
of the Coop.
Yeah. Where'd you find that one, Coop?
YouTube audio library. It's called Intellect.
Did you know it was going to be that subdued?
I thought it would have some jam to it. Had zero whatsoever.
It did not have a lot.
No.
It might
no
be
jelly
fine in
or
some
jam.
settings. I don't know if it was what we needed. Taking it home here in the final 11 minutes of the show. That's okay. Live and learn, baby. You got to live and learn.
I got to try and use different ones, but use the wrong one for that.
Yeah, that's okay.
Lacombe Drew in the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox 780-218-9999. Did I wake up this morning thinking that C is unnecessary? No. Do I feel like it's a whole new world now that Reid has shown us the light? Yes.
Well, thank you. Oh, we're going to do a limerick here. Jeff in YYZ. Last night in a Florida rink, the Oilers game man did it stink. Battling a rat, their focus went splat. Now 3 days to regroup and think. That is coming in from Jeff in YYZ. All right. Oh, let's do a limerick on the spot. Give me a topic.
Ooh, okay. Cheddar.
Cheddar. Oh, my goodness. All right. I was once enjoying a slice of fine cheddar. My dog ran away and I thought I got to get her. So I put on my runners, accelerated like gunners. Now I've brought her home and she's thankful that I fed her.
Oh, baby. That was good.
That wasn't bad. That was way better than the one I did a couple days ago. That was quite poor. That was fun.
That was really good.
I like doing that.
I thought you were going to include bedwetter in there somehow.
Cheddar, bedwetter, header, because I could have done a soccer header. Zetter.
Ken in the inbox
Zephyr
says, I'm closer to Stauffer's age, so this is my recollection of the Oilers TV play-by-play guys. ITV was Bruce Buchanan, CFRN was Al Coates and Dennis Biak. A Channel was Dennis Biak and Buchanan.
Did Coates ever do Oilers on TV? I didn't think that he did.
He's, according to Ken, he's saying he did. And he also adds, Eric Neville was not only the host of Popcorn Playhouse, he was also the weatherman and weekend anchor for CFRN.
Okay. I don't remember him for some reason. Yeah. I don't remember Al Coates doing Oilers games, but maybe he did when I was younger. Or would have he done some radio maybe? I know Rod, no, I don't know if he would have filled in. I don't know. That's weird.
I don't remember Al Coates
doing Oilers.
At all.
No, at all.
At all.
That's another thing from our grammar annoyances when people say, I don't remember that at all. Really? How do you remember it a short?
My worst.
At all. Not at all.
My all-time worst is people that say schedule.
Schedule.
It's schedule.
Who says schedule?
I can't name.
Somebody in your life does?
Yeah.
Is that a certain parts of America thing or a golf thing? Because you know how at the Masters, it's always the top amateur?
Yeah.
Not amateur?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's unique to golf or parts of the United States or what.
You only say amateur when it's golf related. Correct?
I don't. Well, I would never say it at all. Amateur. How do you say it?
How do they say it?
Yeah.
Amateur.
Yeah. It's like mature almost.
Yeah, mature. Arrogance.
Yeah.
That's just a snooty golf thing.
That is a snooty golf. Well, it's probably an Augusta thing for the Masters. You know, like
we should have a summer idea. A show of snooty things.
The snooty show.
The snooty show.
That would be pretty funny. 780-218-9999 is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. That is how you text us. You can email reid@edmontonsportstalk.com, jay@edmontonsportstalk.com. If you are taking us in on YouTube, you can participate in the chat there. We call it the nasty chat, and give us a thumbs up as well. 20 thumbs to get to 200. We might have a late rally here. We might have a bunch of pleasure delayers or people who hop in late and give us something.
There. I think we can get there.
Yeah, I think we can get there.
And I think you can get 4 out of 4 on words of the day.
Yeah. That one person wrote, I am closer to Stauffer's age. Right. Bob Stauffer is 8 years older than me. So, and I've gotten this before, and it used to annoy me, like especially when it was on Ched. Like, hey Reid, I know you never saw Gretzky play. Really? Yes, I did actually. Like I don't know what the
why people think you're young? Was.
Yeah.
Well, you're young at heart.
I
You're
am
still
young at heart.
You're 52.
I realize perhaps I have a certain comportment.
Do you mind people knowing your age?
No, I'm 51. I say it all the time. I say it all the time.
Said 52.
So I was born in 19. So yes, I was young when the Oilers joined the NHL. But I felt, now maybe I'm overly sensitive about this, but I felt like by saying that person was saying, "Hey, Reid, you're quite a bit too young to remember what Bob Stauffer and I remember." So if you're saying you're closer to Bob Stauffer's age than to my age, then you're only 2 or 3 years younger than Bob, but only 4 or 5 older than me.
A lot can happen in 4 or 5 years.
Bob was born, I believe Bob was born in 66. I think he turned 59 in March. So yeah, he would have been more, into his teens when the Oilers were in the NHL. But yeah, I remember most of the Oilers broadcasters, I think too. Because what year were you born? 81? 81. So do you remember the 90 Cup?
Vaguely.
Like obviously 84 and 85, you wouldn't.
No.
Do you remember Gretzky going to LA?
Yes.
Okay.
Vaguely.
Like you understood.
And
you understood he didn't play for Edmonton anymore, and he was
the
pretty
wedding.
Good. Of course.
The wedding was a big deal. Do you remember where you were? This is a weird thing, but it's always something I remember. And
I do remember, yeah.
Do you remember where you were? Not that when Princess Diana died.
I think I might have been working a shift at Blockbuster.
Because that was pretty big news.
Was that 97?
I
might have been working a shift at Blockbuster, and people started talking about it.
I was at Moose Lake.
Hunting moose?
No.
Just
camp.
Hanging out?
Going to camp.
August 31st, 97. Yeah, I was probably doing a Blockbuster shift because I remember people talking about it.
Do you know where you were when Donovan Bailey won gold?
Oh, yeah. I was watching it in my apartment on 78th Ave. Off White. Yeah.
My mom was driving, Sickler, Tuckwood, and I to K-Days.
Did you listen on the radio?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. All right. Double word of the day. Let's do it.
The word of the day with Reid and Jay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
What do they got to say?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you.
Let's find out.
English, do you speak it? Then you know what I'm saying.
First word of the day, minutia. Minutia.
Oh, man. Well, I definitely know what this means. I don't know if I remember how to spell it. Is that right? M-I-N-U-T-A-E. No, how do you spell it?
M-I-N-U-T-I-A.
Oh, right, okay. And the minutia is...
Cha?
Oh, there it is. Yes, there it is. Okay. The definition of minutia is like a very small and specific. Well, it's something very small and specific, like Matthew Awanek. While Jay and Reid cut the grass, Matthew Awanek worried about the minutia of the golf tournament, such as putting exactly 1 ounce of bourbon in each cup. Exactly 1 ounce.
Yes.
Okay.
Second word of the day.
Point. I got one.
You got 1 out of 2. You'll laugh at this because, like I said, these words just come up. Tantalize.
That's not the word.
Yes, it is. Tantalize.
Tantalize. T-A-N-T-A-L-I-Z-E. And tantalize is a mammal found on Hoth, ridden by... Oh, that's a tauntaun. Sorry. Okay, I know what it means. It's sort of like... I guess it would be to tease or to tempt. Jay had gone 2 months without chocolate and found the Mars bars in Reid's lunch bag tantalizingly close.
To torment with something desirable that is just out of reach.
Okay, so I missed sort of... Well, no, because I said to tease,
Yeah.
so that I didn't just say torment exactly. But I think my sentence
Your
backed
definition
up the
backed it up.
definition. So it's like you haven't had chocolate for a while.
3 out of 4.
And you're like, and I have like some chocolate, in my lunch or maybe in a little bag, or I'm having a chocolate bar, and you're like, you could reach out and grab it. You could pull it out of my mouth, but you don't want to because that's bad form. And you're like, oh, I hope Reid offers me some chocolate. Something like that.
What's your favorite chocolate bar?
Probably Mars.
Me too.
Yeah. Well, I can't eat a bunch of chocolate bars because of the nuts. So that limits the choices right there. All right, maybe this will be a 200 thumb show after the fact. We'll have to get 15 more in the next 20 seconds, or get them by people listening after the fact. Hopefully that's achievable. The live stream resumes at 6 a.m. with the Nielsen Show. We're back at 3 o'clock tomorrow. Luke Gazdick and Marty Baron scheduled to join us. On behalf of Zachary Kubish and the glue guy, Jason Milne, I'm Reid. Thanks for checking out the show.